Let me go live. Hold on, we going live. All right, now.
We don't
What's
see
good,
them.
family? Black African Power. Y'all already know what it is, man. Hey, what's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woohoo, wait, man. Look, check this out, man. Pseudo killers in the building, man. We're here to get everything straight and get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Wuja like to say, God equals ignorance. Yeah, we gotta shake this atheist thing up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Keep people aboard. You feel me? Keep the working definitions going. And first of all, man, let me introduce my man Vance, politically incorrect. You know what I'm saying? That's his podcast. What's good, Vance? He disappeared. Advance. Don't even worry about it. Double X Architect. What's good, man? How you doing, brother? Always a pleasure to have you here. What's up with you, man?
I'm just chilling, ready for this convo. You know me.
Hey, man, Pseudo Killer on deck, man. Pseudo Killer on deck. Woo job. What's good, man? I'm a Raw Squad up. Pseudo Killer official. What's good with you, brother?
I'm Raw Squad up. Peace to the panel. Peace to everybody listening and those who be checking us out on the rebound on the archive.
Yeah, all right, boom. Shout out to Sister Kava. I know you thought I wasn't gonna be on time. I don't see you in there. No, I was on time. Hey, back to you against Vance, man. Politically incorrect. What's good, Vance?
What's good? Peace to the panel. Peace, Rule Job. Peace, peace, ex-architect. Glad to be back. Build with you brothers as usual.
You been gone camping.
Yeah. Had to take a family trip and shit. We had to make do something different this time instead of just going to a theme park or something. We went a little different. So it was good though. Everybody made it back safe.
Say, hey, how they say, yo, back in the day, no humans wanted to go camping.
Right. You right. Wasn't no damn camping.
Wasn't no camp. They were trying to stay as far away from the animals as possible.
Facts. No, you're right.
Facts. Yeah, so we're in a position to do that, man, based off of humans understanding nature, based off of the whole process. All right, so X, this is what we want to make sure we do. We want to make sure, right, that on this panel, we're not going to always agree all the time. Some things we might, some things we might not. What we want to do is, though, we want to make sure, everybody get their point out and we don't cut each other off. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? Between you, Vance, Wuja, y'all got the right to speak as long as y'all feel like y'all need to speak. All right? So y'all not guests. Y'all are the damn show. I just want to make that clear. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to howl and scream and do all that because the conversations be good. I just think we need to tweak it a little bit better. Take a page out of Wuja book and Brother Vance book. And me and you, X, got to stop acting up. So, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to cut each other off. Matter of fact, I might put your ass on a timer sometime because you swear you don't talk long, which you do. All right, but yeah, we want to go ahead and get that in. So you got this real interesting thing going on real good, man. So we'll take a couple minutes to go ahead and get you straight. So you seem to think that Catholics and Mormons aren't Christians, right? Why you actually think that though?
Hold on, we're not getting into that this show.
Yeah, we is. Take us 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes.
It take me more than 2 minutes. You said we was gonna get in a debate on that, and I said, yeah, let's do that.
I don't feel like that, man. Come on, man.
Nah, don't do that.
I don't feel like debating you on that. I'll beat you up. I can get you right now. So what? I'm just saying. Let me pierce into your mind. I mean, what's your point? Because maybe what are you really trying to say? I want to understand you these days. What are you really trying to say with that, though? Just curious. When you actually say that, do you mean it literally or what?
I'm not getting into that right now, bro.
Backing out? Backing out?
Get it?
Double X Architect?
Never. We gotta get a debate on that right there because I want to present all my information.
You want to present? Okay, give me your basic premise though. Just curious. I'm just because I just
in the society that we live in, Catholics and Mormons are not considered to be Christians. That's all I was saying.
How about Seventh-day Adventists?
Yeah, I believe that's considered a denomination. I gotta look into that, but from what I can remember, or from what I'm familiar with, those individuals are considered Christians. Like Jehovah's Witnesses are considered Christians.
Yeah, you probably got.
I know with Catholicism and with Mormonism, the rules change. Like I gotta present all that information really be standing up straight or whatever.
Oh,
I just don't want to be talking about it loosely.
Oh, yeah.
I have
What
a
you think?
question about that real quick.
Go ahead there, brother. Brother Wuja.
Just real quick, so just for my knowledge, who's the authority that determines who's a Christian, who's not? What's that body or what's that group body or regular?
Just real
Yeah,
quick.
now remember, at first we were going with the definition. Somebody, got the volume up. First we were going with the definition. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
First we were going with the definition of an individual that subscribes to the Jesus Christ story. You know, him dying on the cross for everybody's sins. We first said that was a Christian, but then I told that becomes confusing because the Nation of Islam subscribed to that, and you wouldn't call them Christians. So we first got to get a working definition. I was just saying that in society at large, we make a distinction between Catholics and Christians, and also Christians and Mormons.
Hmm.
You hear me, Wojabu?
Yeah, but I didn't hear an answer. So is there a regulatory body that determines who's a Christian, who's not?
I wouldn't say so. There's a regulatory body, but if we were gonna get in on this conversation right here, we would have to establish what a Christian is.
Yes, I'm saying. So who makes that determination? Just us on this panel? We could make that up. We could make that determination, or is there a body, a regulatory body that has already made that up?
No, I don't think that there's a regulatory body that makes that up.
Okay, so it's gonna be real hard for anybody to say who's a Christian, who's not, because
But that's why I said society at large. I didn't give an official source like besides society at large, because we don't have that.
Oh man, you wobbling already.
Never that.
Early
Never
in the
that.
conversation, he wobbled you with a basic question.
He didn't wobble me at all. He asked me who was the authority on it.
So you said nobody. So if that's the case, then shit, the conversation over. They Christians.
No, but that's the thing. You wouldn't call. I told you there's a social context. You said that a Christian is somebody who believes in Jesus Christ and that story, and the niggas from the Nation of Islam believe in that. But you wouldn't call them Christians. You agreed to that. So then how could you call the Mormons Christians at that point? We have to then take social context into consideration because the definition is far too vague and just not pertinent to what we're talking about.
So let me ask you, can somebody be something without being called something?
Can somebody be something?
Like I don't call you a human, but you would consider yourself a human, but I don't go around calling you that.
Yeah.
So a group of people can be something even though they're not called something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that kind of answers the.
I knew you was gonna go there, but let me tell you why not. The Nation of Islam is called a nation, right? By the Nation of Islam members, correct?
Right.
But you and I both disagree that with the statement that they're a nation, correct?
Right. Their nation, by their definition of nation, they are. But of course.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying, Wujabu. Anybody can make up. Anybody can say that there's something, but that doesn't necessarily qualify them as being that. When the dictionary definitions are too vague, we have to take into consideration social or societal context. So the dictionary's definition, you could encase the Nation of Islam into that. However, society rules, and we know that the Nation of Islam would not be considered by society to be a nation. It's just an organization that's a part of the American nation.
So let me ask you, does society use dictionaries?
I can't understand the question in the way in which you're asking it to me. Do members of society use dictionaries?
Yeah. So the society, I'm talking about people. So do the people in the society you're speaking about, do they use dictionaries?
Yeah, they use dictionaries.
So the dictionaries are part and parcel is a product of society, right?
No, the dictionary. Are you asking me if the dictionary is composed by society or does it have an official authority?
No, I'm saying the list of words and their definitions inside of these dictionaries that you mentioned, are they a result of society?
To a degree, but the lexicographers have the last say so on that.
Yeah, I mean, because 50 million people can't write one book. So yeah, I do understand. Lexicographers are professionals who actually put it together. But I'm saying
Yeah.
the definitions in them. Do the lexicographers make up these definitions themselves, or what do they use to come up with their definitions?
I think that they use societal influence, but they have the last say so on if a word gets added to the lexicon and what the definition allocated to the actual term is.
So do you know how words get added to different dictionaries? Do you know their procedures?
No, the only thing I know is the end result, which is they're either in there or they're not.
Yeah, so I would suggest you look that up, but so you'll know. But I was asking because the dictionary is a result of as a product of society, how the average use of these different words are, and they have
Mhm.
to come up with a definition. So when you say that the society, you said according to the dictionary, Nation of Islam would fit, but then according to society, they wouldn't. But
Mhm.
it's society that produced the definition that you find in the dictionary. So that's kind of a little confusing.
No, I think you misunderstanding what I'm saying. There's a dictionary definition, and then there's a societal understanding.
Okay, but the dictionary definition comes from who?
I told you already, the lexicographers, they may be influenced by society, but they're the ones that have the last say so on what words mean. Like if we started using a word, or yeah, like black people, um, the ones we're familiar with in the conscious community say that black means color code, consciousness, all that other shit that they be talking about, right? That's our own little segment of society's understanding of the word black, but that's not the definition of the word black, correct? Mujabu, can you hear me?
Say that one more time.
In the conscious community, you'll largely hear black people tell you, somebody got their volume up.
Nah, that's why I gotta mute myself. I'm echoing, but go ahead.
All right, no doubt. In the conscious community, you'll largely hear them tell you that the definition of black isn't what the dictionary puts forward. They would tell you that it's color code, consciousness, cosmic connection. I can't remember all the other shit they be saying, but that's our own societal understanding of the word black. Our this segment that we belong to of society, this conscious community, but it doesn't have any impact on the dictionary itself, right?
Right, but you know what that's called? That's called semantics and pragmatics. How words see dictionaries only give definitions. The meaning of words is born out of context, which means how they're used by people.
Definitions are the meaning of words, aren't they?
No, they're not. Definitions are not meaning.
What
You,
is?
you can you can you can you can use a word that's not its definition. Like for example, if I say those shoes you got on your feet, those are cold. Those are cold. Now, how I'm using that word cold is not how it is defined in the dictionary. So what I mean by that is dictated by the content or context of what I'm saying and not what you find in the book called a dictionary. So there's a difference between semantic meaning versus the lexicon and the lexical entry that we call definitions. So there's a big difference, and maybe a lot of people may not be aware of that, but that's a difference. But you learn that in the study of semantics and pragmatics.
But hold on, Mujab, I just want to hear you. I just want to get clear understanding of what you're telling me. You said that a definition is not what a word means. So if I look up a word, I'm not finding out what it means.
No, you are not. So to be clear, what a word means
Let me write this down real quick.
is born out of context. Oh, so in my example I just gave,
yeah, but you're choosing to use the term in a manner contrary to what its definition may state.
exactly, but I used it to convey a meaning. Did I not?
You did, however, you used it in contradiction to what its actual meaning is. The same way black people in the conscious community use the word black in a manner contrary to what its actual meaning means, because the definition is the meaning of a word. You're the first person I ever heard say that a definition isn't the meaning of a word. That's the first time I ever heard that in my life. I'm writing that down so I could respond to that.
Okay, that's cool, and it's a first for a lot of things. But I'm saying, have you ever studied semantics and pragmatics before?
Yes.
So you've studied it before. So you have certain textbooks or books that you've read on it.
No, I've just looked at articles on semantics and read different works on semantics, but I don't have any textbook with me on semantics.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry. That's what I meant by study. Like, have you actually studied it? Not just not just know what they mean and stuff.
You got different degrees to study, John.
No, yeah, I'm telling you what I meant by study. So I understand. I'm clarifying what I meant by study. But
No, I haven't read textbooks on semantics.
Okay, that's cool. So I'm saying if you do, you'll find that dictionaries, and plus also if you look up how words are added to dictionaries and how these companies, Merriam-Webster and all these other companies actually add words to dictionaries, you'll probably find that interesting as well. But I'm saying that the definition is not the meaning, because they can be two different things. And I gave you an example. If like in the Midwest, in Chicago, people will say, yo, that shirt you got on is cold. How much you pay for it? I'm trying to get it. Where you get it from? But people in New York may say, yo, that shirt is hot. Where you get it from? I'm trying to get one. How much you pay for it? So hot and cold are two diametrically opposed words in their normal definition. But yet both people, the person in Chicago and the person in New York, are using both of those opposing words the exact same meaning. All they simply mean is that it looks nice. I like it. It's attractive.
But you do know, Wujabu, they're not speaking in a formal manner or speaking in a way that's in connection or agreement with the dictionary. They're speaking in a localized understanding, and they're not using those words properly.
Well, 1 second, because that's my point. My point is that what words mean is dictated by contents, how they're used, and this is under semantics and pragmatics. That's why I say you should study those two things.
Let me ask you this question, Wujabu. You know just a tad bit of Spanish, right? Like if a person says blanco, you know that blanco means white in English, correct? Or it means white in Spanish, right?
It means blank, which we say white and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we were to translate it over into English, it would translate as white, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now can I go into the Spanish language and change? If say I learn Spanish, can I go into the Spanish language and change what the word white means? I mean, what the word blanco means? I can do it amongst myself and my peers, correct? But I don't have any official authority, is what I'm trying to communicate to you, correct?
No, but I never said that you did. Even in my hold on, wait 1 second. In my example, I'm not even talking about dictionaries. What I'm trying to get you to see is that what you find in a dictionary are definitions of words.
What is the definition?
And if you look up the definition of definition, it simply means to place a limit on something. These are demarcation of concepts. And so they take the average demarcation, different concepts, and they have words and they give these definitions. But how people actually use the words dictates its meaning. So you can take a word and mean something else by it. This is just conversational. So that's what I'm saying. If you study semantics and pragmatics, how words are used in practical communication, interfacing and engagement, you'll understand that meaning is different and quite often different than the dictionary. Now, people who don't know this will say, "Oh, well, you're speaking informally or colloquially, and this and that." But that's what's going on.
Look, I looked up the word definition. Right? You can see my screen.
Yes.
And what does it say? A statement of the exact meaning of a word. So a definition is the exact meaning of a word. You said it was not the meaning of a word.
Okay, look up cold. In my example, look up the word cold. In my example of that I gave you a scenario, look up the word cold and you tell me what do I mean by it.
But you're using that in a localized understanding. It may not be the dictionary definition. It may not have a definition within the dictionary. That may be like a metaphoric expression.
So again, if I use a word and you look it up in a dictionary and it listed and it gives you a definition of that word, and you plug in that definition in the context in which I use it, would it match?
No, it wouldn't, because you're not speaking properly.
So it must mean I don't mean it that way.
I understand it, but what I'm telling you is that you don't have authority over the language, Mujabu. The dictionary does.
I never claimed to have authority over the language, X.
But all right, let me state what you stated. You said that definitions are not the meaning of words. We just looked in the dictionary, Mujabu, by Googling it, and Google has within its search bar a pocket-sized Oxford dictionary, and we saw that a definition is the exact meaning of a word. So by default of that, you would be incorrect in what you stated.
Okay, I tell you what. Look up semantics and pragmatics. Do the same thing.
All right, no problem, bro.
All right, because I already asked you if you studied it and you haven't, and so
not to the effect that you were talking.
Right, and I'm encouraging you to, and now you understand the example I gave, but you're still fighting it because you're saying that the dictionary is the exact meaning of a word.
Yes.
Okay, so
according to the language, it's the exact meaning of a word.
Okay, so
officially.
So officially the meaning of the word.
Yes, it's the official meaning of the word.
Okay, so now let me ask you, how do words get defined in these dictionaries?
You mean who has the authority to give them definition?
What's the process? How so the lexicographers, so the people who work at Merriam-Webster, are they
yes.
or any of them? Let's just use Merriam as an example.
I think the principal one would be Oxford, though. I just want to throw that in there. Go ahead.
Say it again. Say it again.
I think the principal historical dictionary of the English language is the Oxford one.
Okay, but the others exist. So let's just use the Merriam because that's what people access the most. Just for this example. Just for this example, yeah. Because when you Google, it's pulling from Merriam-Webster.
No, it's not. It's pulling from Oxford. That's what I try to tell you.
Okay, well, Oxford or Merriam, it doesn't matter. I'm saying.
I got you. I was just correcting you. You just said it was pulling from Merriam, and I just told you it's pulling from Oxford. Go ahead.
No, when I pull it up, it's pulling from Merriam, though, X.
When you use the Google has embedded within its search bar. You can type this in and check it out, bro. I already did it.
Listen. When I pull up words, they pull up from Merriam.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
Hold up. Are we clear on that?
Are you? Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. When you Google words, you're saying they pull up from Merriam?
I don't Google words, brother.
So you don't type words inside of the Google search bar?
Not to get dictionary definitions. No, brother.
Okay, no problem. I'm just telling you that that's what Google does. But go ahead, bro.
Okay, and that's fine. But for my example, whether it's Oxford, whether it's Merriam, whether Google does it themselves or not, the team of people responsible for writing those dictionaries, are they the ones who create these definitions from themselves? Are they the creators of all the definitions of the words that's in their dictionaries?
Are they the creators? I don't. That would be difficult to answer because I would have to ask you for context. What I would tell you is they're the ones that have the last say so on what words mean.
Okay, that wasn't my question. So let's just separate the two, because I understand that if they are the editors and the architects of the actual dictionary themselves, they will by default have a last say so. So we don't have to keep saying that. My question to you is, are they the ones who create these definitions in the dictionaries?
And in their respective dictionaries, they're the official creators, or the people who bring these terms into existence officially.
Okay, so they make up the definitions to these words that we find in their dictionaries. So they're the ones.
I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say you said it. I'm saying it for clarification. So I'm saying, so when I say create the definition, that's what I mean. Did they make it up?
No, I don't believe that they made it up.
So where did it come from?
I think that it came from societal influence.
So how does that process work? When you say that's real vague, societal influence, what's that?
Yeah, they listen to the way in which people express expressions in society, and then when they go to update their dictionaries, you may find that new definitions have been added to the lexicon, to the words within the lexicon.
Okay, I just want you to understand. It's okay to say you don't know.
I don't. I didn't tell you I knew just now. You asked me, what do I think? Thinking comes from not knowing.
No, I didn't ask you what you think. I just asked you the question.
You said, how do you think? Ujaba, you didn't ask me how do I think those the creators come up with, those definitions.
I didn't use the word think. I said I just asked you the question. I didn't say what you think.
What question did you ask me, Ujaba? Restate it.
Okay, I asked you, are you the one who create the words? And you said, and I explained what I meant by create it. You said, no, it's from societal influence. And I said, how does that work? How does that process work? I said,
what did I say? I said, I think that it comes from, I said, I think that it comes from societal influence, how society uses the words.
Right. Then I said, society is vague. I said, how does that work? And then I
gave you my thoughts on it.
Okay, that's cool. And after you gave me your thoughts, I said it's okay to say you don't know.
No, I don't. I never said I knew how the lexicographers composed the dictionaries.
Okay, listen, I'm not saying that you said you knew, but I'm saying it's okay to say you don't because
let me officially say it. I do not know how the lexicographers compose the lexicon.
Okay,
now we're done with that one. Let's move on.
All right, so in moving on, I would suggest to you to one study semantics and pragmatics, and then two, look into how words are added to these various dictionaries, be it Oxford or be it Merriam-Webster or any others that you could think of. Look that up, and you'll find it to be very interesting. That's all.
All right, but Ujaba, I do need you to understand that you were wrong when you said that the definition of a word is in its meaning.
Brother, until you study semantics and pragmatics, you won't even listen. Wait. You won't even know if I'm wrong because you don't even know what I mean by what I mean. So I'm saying the meaning of a word is dictated or born out of the context in which it was used. And I demonstrated that with my example of when I say that shirt is hot, where you get it from, or that shirt is cold, where you get it from. Two different people using two opposite words to people's understanding, but they mean the exact same thing. So if I can say what they mean, what do I mean when I say your shirt is hot? What do I mean by hot?
Let me think of words. You mean that it's appealing,
fashionable. Come on, it was slick.
Okay, so it's appealing, attractive, like I said. So when I say that shirt is hot, that shirt is hot, I'm giving you a compliment. And I'm saying that shirt is hot, it's attractive, it's appealing, right? Okay, that's what the meaning of the word is in that context. So, so meanings of words are born out of their context.
Yes, but until it becomes defined in the dictionary, it's not official, Jawu.
Okay, but I never say anything. I never mentioned anything about official or unofficial. I'm telling you, I'm telling you that what people mean by words that they say are born in the context in which they say them. And
okay, I have no problem with that, Joe.
Okay, if you don't have a problem with that, then
I have a problem with you when you go against what a dictionary says a word means. Because you told me that a definition is not the meaning of a word. I go to the dictionary and it says it clear as day that it's the exact meaning of a word. So who's the authority on the English language? Wujawu or the lexicographers? The dictionary or Wujawu's opinion?
Okay, listen, I just demonstrated to you. Demonstration beats conversation. So I just demonstrated to you. Step by step. I said, what do I mean if I tell you that your shirt is hot? You told me and you answered correctly and said, I'm saying it's attractive or any other word that's associated with that. And I actually, that's what I mean. Hold up. That's what I mean. So if what I mean comes out of the context in which I said it in, you are actually proving my point.
No, what I'm proving to you is that that's an unofficial understanding of that word. Officially, that word doesn't mean that. If you go to the dictionary,
listen, it doesn't matter. It's all on meaning. See, that's what I'm trying to show you.
I'm talking to you about the official meaning of words. When we're talking in English here, I'm speaking official English. So you can reference what I'm saying with a dictionary. You're talking to me about unofficial meanings to words. When you tell me that a definition is not a meaning of a word, and then I go to the dictionary and I see Wujawu is incorrect because it's the exact meaning, you're wrong by default of that. Nothing that you, no conversation that you take me into on semantics or pragmatics is going to change that, Wujawu.
All right, so whether it's,
I don't know how you don't get that.
listen, whether it's official meaning or unofficial meaning. Wait. When you say official meaning and unofficial meaning, what is the word official and unofficial in those two phrases?
Official coming from the authority on the language.
No. I'm saying what word class, what type of word is official and unofficial in the two phrases, official meaning and unofficial meaning?
It's a adjective. Official meaning, yes, adjective is describing the.
Okay, so regardless if it's official or unofficial, we're still dealing with meaning. Correct?
Oh my gosh, Wujawu, come on, man.
Right, we'll freeze it right there. Hold up. Well, I think we got a pretty good conversation in there. People listening can figure it out. Hold on. Let's tie it back into damn, they want to say checkmate, but I'm gonna let you slide because they start you out on the screen.
Like I told you, you're a guesstimator. I can't use you as a
You're in checkmate right now.
Not at all.
Hey, hold on. You know what the moment was? He said whether it's official or unofficial. You hear that?
I think I got ears, bro.
Okay, that was the moment when that king slid down.
It really wasn't because you stopped me before I was gonna talk.
It's nothing else to say. You in checkmate. You know what checkmate means.
You can't stop a court case and then say, "Oh, you just lost."
No, because I'm not trying to checkmate him. I'm trying to
checkmate Wujawu.
I know, but listen, I established at the beginning of this little conversation that you have not taken the time to study semantics and pragmatics, which is handicapping you in this conversation. So I'm trying to school you. Wait, I'm trying to school you on the difference between what's called the definition and what's the meaning. Now you looked up the word definition. Look up the word meaning. What does it say? Look up the word meaning from the same Google process you use.
Yeah, no problem. I just want to let you know that Google uses the Oxford Dictionary, and that's
you already.
It's much more of an authority than your little Webster shit.
Right.
You know that.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Merriam-Webster? Shit.
Wait 1 second. So
you think that Merriam-Webster has more pull or is more official than you think that is used more than Oxford?
I don't want to get off.
I know.
No,
Your ass is going to cross. I don't want to let you off. Go ahead. Just keep.
But now, hold up. That's another conversation of itself, because if we have several dictionaries out here, and then you have the opinion of Oxford having more pull, then and other people may choose Webster or Merriam-Webster's variety, then the question still becomes: a society is affected by two different in your words, official.
We're not gonna go into right now. We're gonna stay on the subject matter.
Okay, so what does meaning mean?
It's right here. Which one do you want?
Read that first one.
Okay, what is meant by a word, text, concept, or action? You see right here, the definition is a synonym.
Sense, explanation, denotation, connotation, interpretation. Now, let me ask you, since denotation, just as an example, denotation and connotation are listed at, hold on, go back.
Okay.
Denotation and connotations are listed as synonyms for meaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now synonyms doesn't mean equal, because
it doesn't mean exact.
Right. So when you were about to show that definition to make it imply this exact, so I'm just showing that just because it's listed as synonym doesn't mean it's the same. Because if you look up denotation and connotation, those are two different things.
Okay.
A denote a word.
It depends on how you compose.
No, denotation and connotation are different things.
In a sense, yes, they understand that.
You sure you understand that, right?
Thoroughly.
Okay, so although they're two different things, they're listed as synonyms to meaning. How is that possible?
Because they're talking about a particular context in which they're the same thing.
Did not say meaning is born out of context. All right. I'm gonna leave you alone. All right, that's it.
I didn't hear what you just said. What did you say? Denotation, the literal or primary meaning of a word in contrast to the feelings or ideas that the word suggests.
So
The process of indicating or referring to something by means of a word. In this sense, connotation and denotation would be the same thing. And that's what I was telling you about the context. You still there, Joe?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
saying it's done.
You brought me to there to make a point, or that's it?
No, that's done. The point was made. The denotation and connotation are different things, but yet they're listed as synonyms of meaning.
I showed you why they were listed as synonyms or meaning damn near the exact same thing.
Because you said it depends on the context, didn't you?
Depends on the context that you're using the term in. Because
okay, wait. You said it depends on the context, and that's what I said earlier, brother. Goodness gracious, I'm gonna leave.
No, don't do that, man. Now you mixing shit.
Yeah.
Mixing shit. Yo, y'all good with these little tricks, but you're not gonna
trick.
You're not gonna trick tricks is for kids, yo. You can't do that.
No,
yo,
really. Hold up, X.
Yo, you can't do that. Look at watch what Joe just did. Let me explain to you what Joe just did.
Wait, hold on, X, just real quick, man. Listen. Wait, X. This is like basketball. You know how somebody shoot a shot and then everybody go for the rebound, and we're gonna holler same team. So what I'm trying to get you to understand. See, I study semantics and pragmatics. So you're not going. I mean, I don't know what you think you're gonna do with me on this, but I'm encouraging you to study. To study a little bit further, and I'm just trying to tell you that in the science, in the linguistic sub branch of semantics and pragmatics, we understand that definitions and meanings are different things, and most of the time they are. They can overlap though. But most of the time that they are, because meaning is born out of context. Now, what you just showed was the meaning of meaning. And in the meaning of meaning, it showed a synonym of two words that are not the same. And you just said by your own admission that those two words are listed as synonyms because it depends on the context in which they're used. And that's the basis of meaning. Semantics. The word semantics means meaning. So I'm trying to understand all that. So I'm done because I don't want to hog. I don't want to hog this up on that.
You said but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna explain what just happened. Because that shit was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
Remember, you the same guy that thought a fucking monkey was a lesser ape. Let's keep moving forward.
That's a joke. But now you throw the shots at me.
I had to correct you.
You throw the shots at me. Hold on. Let me get this straight. I want to get this straight. Hold on. Let me get this straight. Hold on. I want to get this straight. So you just get up, light it out the middle of the street, and you walk over to me because you grazed me with a blow. You mad? Because you got blood in the middle of the street just now and mad at me?
Not at all.
You're a poor sport. You the guy that can't never be wrong. Get out of here with that. Stop it. We all get our scuffs out here. We all get stuffed up out here. You got stuff.
Let me explain.
Don't worry about it. You're a stuff guy. That's why I fuck with you. But I take my blow.
Let me explain.
Feel good as you took a blow. I take plenty of blows.
I didn't take blows. I think that the crowd is immensely enthusiastic.
We all get blows, yo. We all get scuffed up. We can get guys to come in here and scuff us up.
I'm Mayweather. I'm not really getting hit with blows.
Mayweather, you just got pleasure.
I'm not getting hit with blows. When your man says, when your man tells me that a definition isn't the meaning of a word.
Okay, man.
Authority and it says it's a statement of the exact meaning of a word, your man is wrong by default. Then he tries to tell me that a meaning doesn't have to be a definition. I can agree with you on that because definition is dealing with the official understanding of a word. And then when you're dealing with meaning in the context that you're using it, yeah, it can differ. But officially, a definition is the exact meaning of a word.
All right, man.
I just want to get that out there.
So we taking that back to the fact that the Catholics are Christians, bro.
I told you before.
Mormons are Christians. Listen, let me tell you why. Hold on, let me tell you why. Watch this. Hold on. Now you already bludgeoned a little bit. Now look, what I'm telling you is that you know why Catholics are Christians? Because they say they're Christians and they got over 1 billion followers. They're Christians. And you know why they can be Christians? The Mormons are Christians. You know why they can be Christians? Because Christianity never really had an official start until the Catholic Church convened the Nicene councils, and then they was arguing with another Christian that later on they claimed wasn't really a Christian. And we're talking about Arius, bro. So who the hell was Arius? He was from Presbytery. He was actually a priest. He was a Christian. But they argued him down and anesthetized him. They put his ass out because they said he didn't have the right shit right. But he still was a Christian. That's my point. Like Christianity, who's the first Christian sect? There is none really. That's my point. So from the beginning of time, people have been making up their own brand of Christianity, bro. Seriously. And you misquoted me. You misquoted me on the Nation of Islam. What I said was that the Nation of Islam, do you believe, I don't know if they believe whether Jesus died on the cross and all that. I don't know about that, right? But they do believe in Jesus Christ because their Quran says so. Just like they say when in doubt, you know what I mean, follow Abraham's religion. But that's part of their religion to say that. That does not make them a Christian, bro. I'm just trying to let you know that. So most Christian, within their doctrine, they do have Christian tenets. Because if you want to say that, then we can say shit. Judaism, Islam, Christianity really is an Egyptian religion. You want to play that game? I can extend you already out there. You want to do that?
I'm not. You already know the game. Let me ask you this: if Scientology says that Jesus is a part of their religious heritage, are they Christians?
But they don't.
They do. You're wrong.
Now, Scientologists, listen.
Scientologists said Jesus Christ is a part of their religion. Go get the wiki article and look into it.
Yeah, bring that up. No, throw it up. Let's go.
Get the wiki article and look into it.
No, they might just be, but they don't because they got aliens and all that shit. That's a little.
Are they Christians that said Jesus is a part of their religious heritage? I'm just asking you, bro.
I got.
Give me the doctrine. Let me see.
I'm gonna go to it. I'm gonna show you in the article where they said it. If this Church of Scientology says that Jesus is a part of their religious heritage, are they Christians? Think about it.
All right, go ahead. Read it.
Hey, but between you, Unc, or X, did y'all establish what a Christian?
No.
What a Christian?
No. I was telling him that from the beginning.
And I said it. A Christian is a person that believes that Jesus Christ came to earth and died for the sins of humanity and rose. He suffered for humanity and rose from the dead. That's a Christian.
If a person believes in Jesus Christ, does this mean that they believe that right there, Unc?
Yeah, that's the only way. You got to believe that he died and came and arose. You got to believe that Jesus Christ came and arose. Hold on. Now, physically, hold on. Now, you got the early Christians. Hold on. You got a couple different Christian sects where some of them said it was metaphysically. It wasn't, he didn't necessarily, that was a metaphor. That was metaphysically speaking. And then some Christians said that he literally did that. So they still believe in a life, you know what I'm saying, of Jesus Christ. That still makes you a Christian. Believe in the life of Jesus Christ. So if you want to check this out. So if you want to make Scientology Christians, then if they say that's part of their thing, then they Christians too then.
Say that one more time, please.
You sidebarred it. We were talking about the Catholics.
Hold on, let's say that one more time, please.
I said, if you bring up a source that say that's part of a tradition,
religious heritage.
I don't know about that. I'm still waiting for that so we can read it real fast, right? And if you say they that, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never heard people in Scientology say they was Christian. I never heard that. They might be weird shit to do.
I was getting my shit built up because I thought we was gonna debate on this shit.
No, but listen, but so what?
So,
you know,
I have my
Christians then. Why can't they be Christians? Why can't they be Christians though? I wouldn't argue that too much. Like, why can't they be Christians?
The society recognized Scientologists as Christians.
I don't know, bro, but they might just worry about
what you mean you don't know? No, they look at them like they're different.
Listen, so you want to extend it to Scientology, or was we talking about the Catholic Church and the Mormons? You can just start throwing shit out there.
Oh no, this was just a analogous example that I was going to use in order to question more.
So you got a source on that? Yes or no?
I'm bringing it up right now. Let me get that
shit. Bring it up.
I
was Will Smith, and then they might have did thought they was Christians with Xenu and aliens and all that. They might have thought that. They might have very well thought that. I don't know.
I'm surprised the same Google dictionary method wasn't used to define Christian.
Yeah, go figure out what a Christian is.
You mean the Oxford Dictionary method?
Go get the Oxford.
No, you said that Google pulls from Oxford, so yeah, the Oxford.
Yeah, so that's why I said you meant the Oxford method.
No, I'm talking about the Googling method, but it's coming from Oxford, though. Yeah.
But Google is just a search engine, right?
Yeah, that's a method of looking up. So that's your method. So I'm saying you pulling from your.
So who officially am I pulling from? If Google has Oxford as the dictionary reference within the search bar, I'm officially pulling from the pocket-sized Oxford Dictionary, correct?
Yeah, you're pulling from Oxford, but your method is Google. You're actually using.
You're talking about my method of getting to Oxford is Google.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah, no problem. I know you was trying to make a joke, so I just had to correct you a little bit.
No, but see, you keep saying you corrected me. Listen, man, you
were trying to make a joke that I'm a Googler. Like Google is wrong. You can't do that. You're not official.
Hold on. Wait.
That shit over on me, Mujawa.
Listen. See, you have these assumptions in your head. I'm not claiming that you're a Googler or whatever. I said that I'm surprised. I said I'm surprised. I said I'm surprised you didn't use the same method to look up the word Christian. That's what I said.
Okay, what was your point? Watch this. What was your point in doing that?
Because you and Unc are going back and forth about Christian this and that, but I'm surprised, which is what I said. I'm surprised that you didn't just use the same method of looking it up by way of Google, but Google's pulling from Oxford. I'm surprised you didn't use that method to look up the word Christian the same way, so it could be quick. So that's all I'm saying. That's my point. My point was just to express that I'm surprised that you didn't use that method. That's it.
I'm gonna let you have that one, John.
I mean, there's nothing to let me have. I'm making a comment of
I understand subliminal communication, and I know
listen,
in reality you was not doing that shit just for that right there. You was trying to be funny.
Man, I don't listen. I don't know if you've been traumatized by somebody, whatever. I have no hidden agenda. Like I speak plain and straight. Listen, I speak plain and straight. I don't have no hidden agenda or anything. I am genuinely surprised that you didn't just pull it up.
I would have went that route.
I'm gonna read it for you. X. Christians believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
Yo, I got you to the story. Are you looking at the screen?
No, go ahead.
Jesus is recognized in Scientology as part of its religious heritage.
Jesus in Scientology.
Yeah, okay. Just reference that. I mean, I'm looking into that right there. I just wanted to
keep going. So what? All right, and so are they saying they Christians or not?
And it's whoa. I didn't ask you that. I asked you because you're giving your own definition.
No, I'm not. I'm off my own definition. I read it for you what it was. Christians believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
Wait a minute.
And Savior of all people. Who's coming as the Messiah was prophesied in the Old Testament and chronologized in the New Testament. That's a damn Christian. So if they doing that, then they straight. They just added some extra shit.
I only went to this article because you said, show me where it says that Jesus is recognized in Scientology as part of.
Okay, so now what I did was, hold on. No, I got a definition. I read it, and as long as they do that, then they Christians, bro.
So Scientologists are Christians?
Dang, it just said part of their heritage. It don't say what do they believe him as the Son of God. It don't say that. They gotta admit that he's the Son of God, bro. That's part of being a Christian. Seriously. That he came to save humanity. You got it, all that's gotta be in that. Seriously.
Hey,
would be nice.
Can we use that the going method of looking at these words up? Can we look up Christianity the same or Christian?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yo, hold on. Before we do that, are we going to debate this subject or not? Because I'm not about to fight without my.
We're not fighting.
My calorie.
I'm saying
that word when I'm using it right here. I'm talking about engaging this argument if we're not going to be presenting our information properly. We didn't say we was going live just now to get into a debate on.
We're not debating. We just made. I just made a point.
So to some effect, it's a debate.
It's not no debate, man. Shit, you debating yourself on that, man. You the only one in the world think that. Damn.
contradicting.
You know who the Catholic Church is, yo?
Yep.
I mean, did you? I mean, are you serious though? Do you know who Constantine was? It's called the Roman Catholic Church, dude. They set out the Nicene the councils, the ecumenical councils, bro. So you trying to say the Jews to put together the council that actually put the doctrine together ain't Christians? I'm not debating you on that. I changed my mind. I don't want to make you look that bad. I don't let you have that. Okay, they not Christian because you say so, X. Let's move on. Let's move on.
No, but hold on. I'm just real curious though. What did y'all decide? Did y'all decide on the meaning of Christian? What is a Christian?
Before we can get into a debate, we have to decide on what definition of Christian we're going to use.
Christians are people.
Unc was telling me that a Christian, initially, what Unc said was a person that believes in Jesus Christ. Then he started to add some context, said, well, you know, they got to believe that he died on the cross and all of that other stuff. Now he's using another source. So every time we start having an argument on something, he switches.
I never switched anything. What I did, well, listen, I'm not
that's why I said, yo, before we get to an argument on this, we have to set this up.
Bro. What I did was I went to a working definition as not to do that.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
I can't be like you, X. You just like to say wrong. I can't do that. I'm being fair.
Concepts that I've never even heard before. Fucking monkeys are lesser apes.
How many times you gonna say that though?
Charles Darwin.
Hey yo, let me move on.
You know I got a bro.
X. Can I ask you a question, brother?
Okay, X. X. The audience can't hear y'all. The Christianity is the religion based on a person and teaching of Jesus of Nazareth, or its belief and practices.
I hear you, Sean, but hold on, we're gonna get to you. Let me I'm not trying to be rude either. I'm trying to double Uncle real quick. That's all. No disrespect though. If we ain't gonna set up a debate for me and you to get on this, and you can get whoever you want with you.
No, I'm not debating. Listen, man, that's a crazy. Listen.
Arguing right now. You have a different argument than I have. So it's an argument right now.
I'm finished the conversation, X. Obviously, you don't know who the fucking Catholics are. Obviously, you don't know about the Nicene Council. Obviously, you don't know about when books were brought in. Obviously, you don't know that. Else you wouldn't even be disrespectful. I'm not gonna sit and be crazy with you. I'm gonna move on. X, you won, bro. I'm moving on. You punch drunk right now. Wuja, why you do that, man? He punch drunk.
I get what you're saying, bro.
Punch drunk, dude.
Hey, just real quick. How does the Bible use the word Christian ever or anything?
A couple times, not a lot. That's a dub.
So what can somebody pull up? Anybody got that handy or something?
Like saying it was first called Christians in Antioch because he had the followers.
So by the biblical context, then a Christian would be simply a follower of Christ, right?
Yeah, man.
So whoever follows Christ will be a
Christian, man. Said it, but he said I can't use them changes because I'm adding shit to it. All right, man.
The Nation of Islam, they're Christians.
They're Muslims within their religion. So just like
they follow Christ. You just somebody just said that.
Yeah, are
they Christians?
Yeah.
Are they Christians? Hold on with y'all. Are they Christians?
They're Muslims.
Okay, so are you in disagreement with y'all or agreement?
Well, but hold up now. Check this out though. That's why I asked you earlier. Can something be something without being called that? So for example, Muslims.
And I told you before. Yes, it can. But when we're dealing with a dictionary reference point and it has a vague definition, like nation, we then have to take societal context into understanding. So the Nation of Islam may call themselves a nation, and you can encase them within the parameters of the definition. However, you can encase a lot of things within that definition because of how big it is. And so we need a social context to act as the decider. And socially, those individuals are not perceived as a nation.
No,
it's just an organization that's rogue.
Actually, we don't. But this is the thing. So you have because see this is why it's important to like slow it down, because to be a Christian, there's obviously two senses of the word Christian, and by sense, look that up too. But there's two senses of the word Christian. There's a sense that means that you are a follower of Christ, and then there's a sense of Christian being that you are a member of an organized religious organization, a whole belief system. And so Muslims are Christians by the first definition because they do follow Christ. In the Quran, there's a whole chapter on Jesus. Jesus is called the Son of God, and the whole 9 in the Quran, and is a chapter dedicated to his mother Miriam and all this kind of stuff. They follow the prophet Isa or Jesus, but they don't call themselves Christian because they are members of another organized belief system under a different name called El Islam. So they are Christians in one sense, but in the other sense, they're not. So with that clarification, that's how the conversation can progress.
I like that.
Oh, I like that too.
We can have that conversation another time.
I like that too. Yeah, but Muslims don't think that Jesus is the Son of God. See what I'm saying? They don't think that. They'll fight you for it. They do not think that.
I'm not gonna get into this until you tell me your ex. Look,
I'm not
getting into it until you tell me your ex. We scheduling a debate because I'm a body.
Nah, I'm gonna tap out on X. I ain't got that much time in my life, yo.
No
I'm gonna let that one go, yo. You won that, yo. You're right. The Mormons ain't Christians, and the Catholics who actually put together the Bible ain't Christians.
No doubt.
Want to debate that? You really want to debate that, bro?
I made my statement, but
you really want to debate that? The Roman Catholic Church. You want to debate that, bro?
You don't listen clear enough to even be able to.
I'm asking you, do you want to debate that? I'm gonna ask you for the last time. Do you actually want to debate the people that put who canonized the damn book and put it in book form? Do you really want to debate that? The question, bro.
I'll debate you on the title that I put forward. I didn't put forward.
No. So you're debating that Catholics aren't Christians, right?
I said according to societal context.
Oh man, get out of here, man! You flim.
I've been saying that it's not flim. You got bad listening skills.
Society is that?
You are a guest. You never could repeat me verbatim or anything verbatim, huh?
X.
You're not technical.
So when you throw the society in there, what walking human being on planet Earth would agree with you that Catholics aren't Christians? Are you serious?
I have to bring you reference after reference. That's why I want to get this debate going.
Get out of stop it. Let's move on.
Hey, you be scared. Whenever you get into a debate, you be scared, yo.
Moving on, bro. All right, come on, man.
I've been said that. We're an hour into this shit.
Moving on, yo. Sometimes you just borderline senile. I see why you senile today, though. You're punch drunk today. The other days I didn't know, but you got an excuse for the day. You do.
Being senile is usually associated.
Let me say it. Hold on. Let me finish it.
20 years, you're junior physically.
Hey, let me hear you say it. Wuja didn't know what he was talking about. He was definitely wrong. Let me hear you say that.
When Wujabu said that a definition isn't the meaning of a word, Wujabu didn't know what he was talking about. He was definitely wrong.
All right. So that we can move to the next subject or whatever. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna let you have it.
I fucks with you. I just wanted to make sure you were still there.
Yo, when people they think that when you get in front of a crowd full of people, you're not gonna recite what you said before. Nigga, I told you already. In a room full of fat people, I knock over every dish. I'm just that thorough.
I just wanted to make sure you were saying, yo.
Never been afraid of a crowd. Never been afraid of a crowd. Come on, baby.
Oh, God, to check it. I want to check.
Hey, ex-architect, aka Shot for ID.
Hey, Wuja, ex-architect don't know shit about prosmatics. But that you was wrong. Boy, I like that, though. Yo,
hey, Wuja, this nigga can't even pronounce pragmatics. What the fuck is pragmatics?
Pragmatics. Did I say that wrong?
You said pragmatics.
Major, yo. Hold on.
Hold up. Hey, Ark, I gotta tell you this. This was funny, man. Look, True Story said that you think your computer screen is the mic because you keep leaning into you keep leaning into.
Yeah, True Story, you cracking jokes. I'm gonna give you this link. Oh, that wasn't the first joke. The first joke was I was in what'd you say? I was at True Story in the closet. Shout out to MBK, man. Shout out, man. Yo said I was in a closet. Well, you crazy, yo. That's funny. That's a good one. He said it's a microphone.
He said you take the screen because you be hecka close to the screen. That was funny because when he said it, I looked at your screen. Your whole
The other part though, the other shit was funnier. So he doubled up on the jokes. Hey, you funny. I wanted to get you, but I wanted to make sure X repeated that. You said that, X. I like that.
I bet you can't repeat what I said. I know you that well. I know you that well. I know you that well. You can't even repeat what I said.
I don't remember what you said just now.
You talking about I see now. Being senile is associated with old age.
You said I can't pronounce pragmatics or something like that.
Oh, you pronouncing it now. You said pragmatics or prognosis.
I know, but I've been mispronouncing words for the last 15 years live. Well, so what, nigga? I'm cool with that.
You wouldn't do that with a technical understanding of shit.
Yes, I can, but I can say words technically, brother. I can. I'm doing like I do it. You the man. Correct the word. It's all good.
Hey, look, everybody understands that Unc has a accent. We call it the Unc accent.
No, there ain't no motherfucking accent. Stop that. That's just a mispronunciation of a word.
Yeah, in your mind.
That's
called
accent.
When the light says naturopath. Hold on. When the light says naturopath,
No.
as an accent.
Hey, X, what's the dog, yo? Hey, X, what's the dog?
Now that's an accent, Unc. That's an accent.
That's accurate.
Stop.
Yes.
Stop trying to win, bro. Stop trying to win.
Oh, God. Here we got the guy that communicates with the dead niggas that connect him to the God, and he got to go and hunt a damn.
Stop trying to win, dog. Stop trying
come
to
back
win.
in order to be an elder.
Stop trying to defer and stop trying to win. You don't understand. You don't understand anything.
Why you don't put your own back?
No. We already good.
So what's the next topic? So
you know we talked about God being equal to ignorance, right? That's exactly what it is. I think we also call it the God of the gaps.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. Hey, X, real quick, let me ask you this question. I got that source on what the word atheism means. Now, what exactly was y'all saying? What's the point y'all was making? Y'all said what was y'all saying? Was that you saying or your man?
I'm talking about who my man? I only came up here by myself.
Nah. Whatchamacallit, yo? What's his name? Be smoking weed and drunk.
Oh, my man, Cube, man.
Cube. What was he saying about atheists? Atheists?
Oh no, we were telling you that
What?
What he was saying? The proper way to describe what you're talking about was non-theistic religions without God. You were calling it atheistic religion?
Right.
Yeah.
No, but some of y'all said anti.
Oh, nah, then the conversation moved on, and we were talking about what an atheist was, and you were giving us the definition of the Greek word atheos, and he was telling you basically that you were committing an etymological fallacy, which is to communicate that the current definition of a word has to be the same as its etymological meaning.
That ain't what he said, man.
Yeah, it was basically what he was communicating. I told you that
shit you say.
You commit etymological fallacies all the time. I told you that, but that was in another conversation.
So basically, let me get this straight. Hold on. So basically, you're basically saying, and this is the part that really confused me, and I don't want to say that's some white people shit.
No, you guessed me.
No, so you saying if the origin of a word goes back to, let's say, 1000 BCE, right?
Let me put it for you.
No, hold on. I don't need you to put nothing. Let me say it the way I want to say it. Cut the crap, man.
I mean, you
so if a word origin is around 1000 BCE, right? And you trying to take the people back to the origin of what it meant. You saying, and you decide to start up something using the original meaning of it. You saying you can't do that?
You confuse the shit out of me.
I didn't confuse you. I'm gonna say it real slow again. Are you telling me that if a person traces the origin of a word, atheism, right, and is based off of Greek philosophers getting Babylonian and specifically Egyptian knowledge, which caused them to go against the state-sponsored religion because the Egyptian institutions was way ahead of the Greeks. And so they said, y'all atheists, and y'all going against the state-sponsored religion. The same thing happened to the Christians in Rome. They called them atheists too, because they were going against
I want to make sure you got shit properly stated, Unc. You just
I don't need you to make sure I got nothing proud of. I just need you to relax. That's what I need you to do.
When I'm telling you I can't follow you.
I just need you to relax for a minute, yo. And then do all your word jumping and all that.
I'll show you. This is why y'all learn bad, bro. Go ahead.
Relax, man.
Y'all gotta get out that 70s shit.
All right, man, but I ain't from the 70s, yo. I'm from 67, nigga. How about that? I'm a 67, nigga.
That's 3 years off. Shit.
Let me finish, bro. I'm gonna ask you again, and I know you ain't got the patience or the discipline. Are you telling me? Are you telling me that I can't go back to the origin of the word, right, and then go back to the people that they use the words against, and then right now in 2019 use that definition to say that's what I am? Because I'm making my shit up, and I choose to use that definition. Are you saying I can't do that? That's an etymological fallacy. Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?
You just convey. You don't even know what the fuck I'm saying when I say that you commit etymological fallacies.
I know exactly. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you talk.
This is why I was trying to.
That's what I just did, though, right?
What?
You just said I did that.
No, listen. You were on the. I'm gonna give you an example.
No, stick to what you said I did. You said you was trying to convey that I did that. And I say, no, nigga, that's when I made my shit up based off of that. I know what the hell I did. I'm not crazy, nor am I retarded. I know what I did.
Y'all ain't winning the conversation, Unc. I just want you to know that.
So you don't understand what I just said? I'm gonna move on then. Since you don't get what I'm saying.
That's what you always do. You move on so you don't learn what the fuck we were just talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on. You too small for me. Let me move on.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, go ahead with that shit. You still bloody. You still busy. Still a little bit punch drunk right now. So I'm gonna forgive you for the day's action.
I ain't commit no
punch drunk.
Policies, man. You
listen. I committed what?
Huh?
What I commit?
What?
I committed a what? What type of fallacy?
I didn't commit those fallacies.
So you said, but what kind of fallacy did I commit?
Oh no, I said you're always committing etymological fallacies. When a person says that when a person qualifies themselves as an atheist, then you say no, an atheist is an individual that doesn't go with the state-sponsored religion. You're confusing atheos with atheists. You're confusing the etymological origin of the word with the definition of the present term. That's an etymological fallacy.
So then, so let me get hold on, stop. So Wuja and Asar and all them do the same thing with the word God. Am I correct?
I don't know about that right there.
You just said it. You said, nah, it ain't no ancestors. You said you went to the etymology dictionary and argued me down.
No,
you said the same thing.
You mixing shit
up.
God
don't mean that, right? You say God don't mean an ancestor or elder, right?
I don't remember.
Okay, is that an etymological fallacy to say God? Right? If I say God means ancestor, am I wrong? Am I committing a fallacy right there?
That God means ancestor.
Yeah.
No, etymological. I just told you what. Yo, you can't comprehend what etymological fallacy is. You're using the etymology of the word to act as the definition of the word as it's being communicated in present day.
Watch this. And that's not what I'm doing, because we're all aware of all the definitions of the word, and I simply took it back to its origin and created something. Am I allowed to do that?
Oh, yes,
you heard me say that. Hold on. I know you heard me say that. Am I allowed to do that, Mr. Government?
Your own philosophical understanding of.
I'm saying, am I allowed to do that? Yes or no?
You're allowed to do what you're doing.
Hold on. Am I allowed to create something that I feel the need for my people without it being an etymological fallacy? Like, I know the damn definition of the word is. I know exactly what it is. But when I preface it, I always say, well, at the onset of the word, it was applied to people with Egyptian religion. I say this 100 times. So you telling me that's a fallacy, bro? Man, get out of here with that, man. Like, so now we trapped in 2019. We can't do that, right? Come on, man. That's crazy to me, dude.
Shit, man.
Crazy.
When somebody lets you get your shit out, you be thinking you winning.
I'm thinking I'm winning. I'm saying I'm gonna move forward with this word.
You be thinking you winning because I'm quiet.
Because you punch drunk. I forget.
I know. I'm senile, though. You older than me.
Nah. Wu Jia beat the shit out you in the middle of the street and you bleeding, punch drunk. You would not put it on me. You know how niggas be bleeding.
The whole Army Rock Squad beat the shit out of me, man. It's crazy.
I know that's a shame.
This shit look like that scene from the Hulk movie where all y'all niggas in the tank. I turned into the Hulk and had to point the nozzle. I had to point the nozzle of the gun on the squad to make sure you don't fire again or you blow yourself up.
Oh man, all right, now you delusional. Okay, bro, you right. Yeah, I forgot. There's a little delusion. Hey, Wu Jia, don't do that no more, man. Stop that, bro.
Keep coming.
Hey, Wu, don't do that no more, Wu Jia.
I'm all right. I'm just trying to see because I thought we had another topic going, but it sounded like y'all done hammered it out. So
You're talking about some
etymology, genetic fallacies and stuff like that. But you do know that logical fallacies, the informal logical fallacies, are only invoked in argument. Like some people confuse ad hominem logical fallacy with insults, and they don't know the difference between the two. And so a lot of people use the genetic fallacy or logical fallacy period when that's not really what the case is. I'm not saying y'all doing it, but people just got to keep that in mind. So there's no need to really dwell on that. But etymology is the historical development of the words and how it changed. And sometimes you have to trace out the breadcrumbs to engage in a meaningful conversation, because over time words can become ambiguous and used by different people in different ways, which goes back to semantics and pragmatics. But I'm not gonna go back in that again. So you have to track it back to its historical usage and how it changed over time to see where it's split, so the conversation can be synchronized and make sense. Because, like, for example, God is a very ambiguous term. So it could mean something to one person and something else to another person. And if they get together and have a conversation, that conversation will not be fruitful at all. So sometimes you have to stop and either come up with a working definition within the context of that conversation, which is what pragmatics and all that is about, or you can both travel and sort out and trace back out the original meaning and then walk your way forward again to see how it diverged. And so that's a practice that people need to practice, something that people need to do more often. And especially in these conversations with polarized words like religion, belief, spirit, God, all those polarizing words like that are real ambiguous, that you really got to slow the conversation down. And it gets boring and people don't like boring. So people don't do it. And then you got people hollering, fussing back and forth. And that's the problem.
Hell of a problem right there. But yeah, you don't remember what I was talking about. Yeah, we went off into something else there, X, if you remember, yo. Y'all was using the theist or something. I don't know what y'all was saying.
Yeah. I gotta go back and watch it to be exact, yo.
Yeah. So
Chief X out there.
Oh man, Chief X. So listen, so let's do this. So why is we saying that God equals ignorance? All right. And I think we mentioned briefly about the God of the gaps. So basically, when people have reached, or cultures have reached their level, you know what I'm saying, of understanding something, man, they'll invoke some type of deity, some type of God, some type of something to explain what they don't know yet. So if you go back to the early Israelites, right, you'll see that the mountain, God is on the mountain. Why is God always stuck on the mountain? Because they was basically worshiping a volcano because of the power and the force of it, right? Shaddai El, the God of the mountain. So they didn't necessarily understand how volcanoes work. All they know is that a volcano could bring imminent destruction. Imminent destruction. So they invoked, you know what I'm saying, God. And that's what a lot of people do today. I think, man, you was talking about that, Wu Jia, how really, you know what I'm saying, atheism, you know what I'm saying, kind of shows the ignorance of God. Is that how we put that? How'd you put that, Woo?
Yeah, I said when the dust settles and the smoke clears, to be an atheist is really to be against ignorance because God equals ignorance. When it's all said and done, God's equal to ignorance, regardless of how they're defined in dictionaries, especially Oxford. But God is really ignorance, and the reason why is because at the threshold of our knowledge as human beings, we invoke God for things that we cannot explain or seem to be impossible. And so it's really out of our ignorance that God even needs to be invoked. Because if we know something, then in that conversation of knowing it, you never hear God being invoked. So God is always responsible for things that we don't know, can't know, or don't know how it's done. And even the brightest scientists, in our history of physics and all these other different sciences, they will say the same thing. At the threshold of their knowledge is where God dwells. And so the God of the gaps is a piece that Neil deGrasse Tyson articulated real good, and I suggest everybody watch that. You can watch it on YouTube, where he explains the God of the gaps. And what that means is that God's front yard is at the threshold of where our knowledge ends. Coming from us towards God, where our knowledge ends, that's where God begins. And so the more we know, the less God's space becomes. So God is a forever shrinking entity. The more we know, the more God shrinks. And so God itself as a concept needs people to be ignorant. And I said this before the other day, even in the Bible, there's a story that tells on itself, because the character God in the Bible, and you got the characters Adam and Eve, God didn't want Adam and Eve to know, because the moment that they knew, then the whole thing changed. So you got this serpent character that tells Adam and Eve that in the day you eat of this fruit or whatever, you will know and you'll be like God. And God didn't want them to know. So God is based on the principle of ignorance. And ignorance is belief. Belief is ignorance. Belief is accepting things you don't know. Science is the opposite. They are diametric opposing to one another. So an atheist should be defined as a person who is against ignorance, because most atheists are scientists, because scientists pursue knowledge and they accept and don't have a problem with not knowing, because you start with belief and then your journey is towards knowledge and your obligation is to the truth. And that's really it in a nutshell. But of course, people don't use the word atheist that way. But when the smoke clears and the dust settles, that's what it really comes down to.
Facts. So I put a word in the chat in the chat, right? Right. Alpha Province. Right. Let me explain to you what this is real quick. And the source I'm using is Journal of Religion and Society, Volume 2, 2009. Right? Right. It says the Alpha Province, Privans. So I won't pronounce it wrong. I be doing. Atheism is atheism. So the A alpha, so the A hyphen theism. An atheist is someone who does not subscribe to the central tenets of theism. The A is an alpha province. It denies what follows. I'll say this again. What this word is. The A is an alpha province. It denies what follows. So an atheist denies what the theist tries to confirm. All right? By denying what follows, by denying what follows, you do not become identical with what follows theism. Someone who is religious is simply what it says. Let me say this again. Someone who is a religious is simply what it says, not religious. It is not the case that by denying a religion, you by some magical trick invert a religion of your own. So basically, you'll hear people say, well, you got your own religion, this atheism. It's not true. That's not what happens. I'm simply denying what the theists are proposing. Jesus walking on water, Garden of Eden, the creation of humanity. You know what I'm saying? I'm against that nonsense. So it's not really hard, right? It's real easy. So let's figure out who the theism is. Let's see who these people are. Watch this. Because atheism is the denial of theism. Every tact on atheism should also address the question. Watch this, y'all. This is where y'all gonna really get to understanding this. What is theism? Now, everybody gonna agree with me on this, except AA Architect. I know you're not. No, I'm playing with you. What is theism? Theism is the same as a more current term, monotheism. Theists are adherents to one of the three theistic religions. Watch this: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And you goddamn right I'm against that. Always have been once I got to the state of really understanding what the natural world was, and always will be. I'm going to read this again so we can get this crystal clear. What is theism? Remember we talking about atheism, right? And remember we talking about the alpha provans, right? So watch this. What is theism? Theism is the same as a more current term, monotheism. See? Theists are adherents to one of the three theistic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So we shouldn't have to keep having this goddamn discussion over and over again, because 99% of y'all in the chat room, except for the Hebrew brothers and sisters, might be tuned in, right? And they even practicing Judaism, Christianity, Islam. And brother Unc, you know what I'm saying, is against that. 95% of the conscious community is against Judaism, Christianity, Islam. So why should we be that? Because Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, right, brought ignorance on our people. That's why when Brother Sean come on here and he's trying to give you a serious view of what African spirituality was, a lot of times, right, that message will get misconstrued by people in the conscious community because they're not really getting it. When he's trying to explain what an ancestor is, people will mess with you about that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Sometimes we'll apply spooking to things that's not even dealing with spookism. That's just a great understanding. We know for a fact that the Nile Valley Africans, man, would y'all tell you this, that when they was talking, like the myths were kind of layered. John Jackson talks about this. You know what I'm saying? How you could be talking about one thing, but based off your level of understanding, you can get a deeper meaning from it. Like I always suppose that the damn Nile Valley Africans, they built pyramids, so they had to know the difference. You look at some of the great West African civilizations, look at the things they did. So my job is to get people back to Africa and study it. You know, what was they trying to convey to us? What morals can we get from that? Never to get it confused with science. Never said that. Never said that. Right? But I think, you know, for too long, Europeans have been controlling the word God. Thank goodness, you know, the brother Assad, when he chases the word back, right, to its African origins using African languages where it makes some sense. So, you know, that's what we're here to do. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not spooked out. I know Double X ain't spooked out. I know Van ain't spooked out. Sean Nahisi. How you doing, brother Nahisi? I didn't see you popped in there, man. How you doing, brother? I'm a raw squad up, man.
I'm doing fine. I'm a raw squad up. I'm just
where the hell you been at, man?
Huh?
Where the hell you been at?
Working, man.
Damn. Where you at, brother Vance? I know you. What time is it? You might have lit. Oh man, I didn't wait too long. Still in there, Vance? Oh, he probably fell asleep.
No, I'm still here. I literally just finished eating this shit. I'm good.
I'm just listening, tuning into the convo.
Right. So, you know, just for the record, for everybody listening, atheist is against monotheism. Theism. That ain't got shit to do with African people. You can play the game. That's the three monotheistic religions that wholesaled, right, participated, right, in enslaving African people. We know for a fact that the Catholics, Pope Alexandra, the Catholic, Pope Alexandra, the Catholic Christian, wrote a papist bull. His papal bull clearly stated that if you find a land that does not have a Christian monarch, you can enslave them and bring them to Christ. Interesting. The Muslims do the same thing. Quote unquote, the Prophet Muhammad, right, who they claim, wrote letters to different world leaders, specifically Ethiopia and Egypt, telling them to follow Allah or else. I call them the get down or lay down letters. We know that the Islamic slave trade was brutal, and it was 1,000 years prior to the Christian slave trade. We know that the Jews actually brokered it, and they owned a lot of the companies that participated in it, like the ships, the uniforms that the people on the ships wore. You know what I'm saying? The chains, all these things, the insurance companies, they owned a lot of this business aspect of it, the nautical equipment. You know what I'm saying? All these things that help bring us here. So they all participated in this little dirty thing that they don't call the kidnapping trade, because that's what it was. All right? Because you got to kidnap a person to put them in slavery. These are the theists, y'all. This is what Brother Unc been trying to say. Man, I'm against the theists, no matter what y'all say. Plain and simple. So God actually does introduce ignorance, because once we really got out in this system, man, we ignorant as hell, man. I promise you, man. Now y'all might think that me and X be going back and forth. The truth is, man, he's a highly intelligent brother. Brother Vance, he's a highly intelligent brother. And we're gonna keep doing our thing, because they're against the theists. And once we can get our mind right to scientific literacy, right, and combat the theists, which is really the ignorance, because you got people telling you we just popped out the sky, right? You got people spooked out when you ask them a question about biology, because we take it slow around here. We start out with biological human evolution, right? We start there, all right? Why there, Unc? Because if you got a little understanding of biology, right, that's going to help you. That's going to help you understand a lot of things. So when the vaccine argument comes up, you're prepared for it. When the Dr. Sebi conversation comes up, you are prepared for it because you understand the function of biology. But you got to say that, Double X.
Say that one more time, Mom.
Well, goddamn, you wasn't listening.
I was listening. That last part, I was looking at the comments. I didn't hear the last part you said. In order to understand something, you have to understand biology.
Yeah, I said. So we studied biology and biological human evolution. They're dealing with biology in human beings, and generally just biology in general. We study that so that we know. So when the conversation of Dr. Sebi comes up and what he was able to do against cancer, we're already on our A game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What do you want to add to that?
Nah, that was perfect. When you study biology, you understand why what he was putting forward was pseudo.
How about being a veganism? How does biology help you in that?
It allows for you to understand why veganism isn't a diet that's natural to humans, because we learn about vitamin B12 and its role in the human body, and how humans would not have had the managerial skill in their early days to be able to get the vitamin B12 containing products that they can today, like supplements and things of that nature, in order to provide for a life of veganism. Because vitamin B12, you don't find it in adequate amounts in plants, enough of it to be a vegan. So we know veganism isn't natural, nor is it something that a part of the human evolution.
Hey man, shout out to Chief X, man. Well, you fought hard on the topic, man. Shout out to you. You want to add something to that, brother Sean?
Yo, on the topic of Chief versus Polite, and as far as debate is concerned, I never told you Chief won the debate. I just told you Polite information was pseudo.
You never said Chief won the debate?
I never said that. I just want to let that be known. I ain't never say that.
Oh.
Because Chief did put shit up that wasn't valid, and Polite did correct him on that.
All right.
But Polite information was incorrect.
Don't make me bring Chief on here. Yo, that'd be another hour with y'all niggas.
Yo, it's just a reality. As far as argument is concerned, he lost the argument.
You think he lost that though?
Yeah, he lost the debate. He lost the argument. He was flipping out and all types of shit. Like,
he ain't flipped out. Oh, yo.
Yeah, you ain't see the shit. Chief lost his mind. Looked like he was off his meds or some shit.
Oh, you stupid as fuck.
I'm just being honest with you.
Nah, man. Chief, man. Hey, man, I like the way Chief do what he do, man. He never claimed to be no super scientist and nothing like that, man. He do the hard work, yo. And that's why we come behind him like you doing, and we add to it. You feel me though, right? Because he did the hard part, yo. He actually got in a good conversation with Polite, and now we know. You get that though, right?
No, I appreciate Chief for what he did. I told you, Chief that's responsible for getting me off of veganism.
Yeah, that's pretty thorough right there, yo. So he actually did, you know what I'm saying? He actually, I mean, come on, yo. Now we got some tea, right? So I mean, hey, Wuja, where you at?
Yep, I'm right here.
Hey, so yeah, God does equal ignorance, brother. We'll stick to the damn script because it does.
Yeah, God equals ignorance. That may sound strange to people, but you know, we can unpack it and you'll come to that understand. That's why I always say when the dust settles and the smoke clears, that's what you'll end up with.
Yeah, he's fighting against the ignorance of the theists. Let me get into my microphone. We're fighting against the ignorance of the theists, right? I like to speak for myself, no matter what y'all say. I'm against the theists in 2019. I'm gonna take it back to the origin of it. You know what I'm saying? When you was talking about against the state-sponsored religion, I'm against the state-sponsored religion, and I'm against the theists.
See, the thing is belief. Everybody's required to be a believer, right? And so when you understand what believing is synonymous with accepting, but it has a extra added there. It's accepting things that you don't know. And so there's a contrast between knowledge and belief. And when you don't know, that's what ignorance is. Ignorance means not to know. And so belief is ignorance. And so science is the opposite of that. So this is why, you know, there's always this tug of war fighting and fussing between scientists and, you know, believers or quote unquote religious folks. So that because, you know, God is threatened by knowledge as it is dictated in the biblical story that I was explaining. God was threatened by Adam and Eve gaining knowledge. That's why he didn't want them to do it. And he was pissed off and he cursed them. So that character God in the Genesis 3 and all that stuff was threatened by those two people gaining knowledge. And the serpent, this other character that's called the serpent, told them the truth. Really, he was like, listen, man, if y'all eat that plate of food over there, y'all gonna know and y'all gonna be like God. And then but God said if you eat that plate over there, you're gonna die. So God threatened them with death, which is something that he shouldn't have been able to threaten them with, because there was no such thing as death at the time. And you can't threaten somebody with something that don't even exist yet. Like, because how would it incite fear? But that aside, God threatened him with death. And this serpent, a character, said, man, you're not going to die. You're going to be like God and know. And then after they actually ate it, here's where the demonstration beats conversation part comes in. What happened? They actually knew and became like God. God got pissed off and kicked them out the out the garden. So anyway, I'm just saying that story is really is a very telling story about how the entire system, that entire system is relying on belief. Without belief, it doesn't it can't exist. And you know, I've explained all that before, but yeah, so God equals ignorance at the end of the day.
So they never could, God never could kill him. He never could. Because he put, watch this. So if y'all know what we're talking about, read the story, get your pencil and paper in Genesis chapter 3. Okay? Watch this. He say, now the serpent is more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, ye have God said, ye shall not eat of every tree in the garden. Right? So that's the serpent talking. Because obviously God said that. And then it goes on to say, hold on. But the fruit of the tree, which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. That's Eve talking right there, right? Eve saying that. Serpent come right back and say, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For God do knoweth in the day ye eat therefore, then your eyes shall be open and ye shall be as gods, knowing good from evil. So the only way you can know to determine good from evil is through some knowledge and some wisdom, right? Right?
Wait,
so then watch this.
Hold up. Hey, you gotta go back. So because I didn't know you were gonna read it, but if you're gonna read it, let's do it right. So go back to where God starts speaking. Like you started Genesis 3:1. Go back to where God initially tells them.
Where you want me to go at?
Somewhere in chapter 2. I don't have a Bible open, but it's somewhere in chapter 2.
Deep sleep, falling upon Adam and the rich rib, and then Adam said, oh, the woman take a man, therefore he shall leave his place. I don't think, no, it's right here. It's 3:2. It say, and the woman said until the serpent.
No. Genesis 2:15.
All right, let's go. All right, okay.
Start there. Read.
Read. You highlight. You're supposed to say highlight it. All right, right here, 15 to say.
Oh, let me say it properly. Genesis 2:15.
All right, boom, gotcha. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God and the Lord, oh God, commanded man, they commanded, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. But 17, but from the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day, not tomorrow, not 10,000 years later, no, in the day that thou eatest, therefore thou shalt surely die. There you go. Got it. That's 2:15 to 17. Go ahead. We got that, right?
Yep. So, but now let's just go back real quick. So, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. So that is, in a nutshell, that's discernment. Because when you have to tell one thing from another, that's called discernment. So this tree, whatever it was supposed to give the power of discernment. So I want people to understand that. That's the power of discernment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So then we move on to 3, and the serpent come in, right? Which is the whisper, right? That's Nakash. Am I correct?
Let's just, it's a serpent.
All right. The Hebrew name is Nakash, right?
Yeah. Nakash, right.
All right. He goes to say, now the serpent's more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. So God made the serpent, though. And didn't they have enough sense to know he was going to tell her, now, let me just stop, though. And he said unto the woman, ye have said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Question mark there. You know they added that in there, though. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit.
Well, hold up. He asked her a question. See,
Yeah.
he says, has God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? So the serpent is asking the woman a question.
The woman said, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. See? Talking about this dying thing. 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For God do know that in...
So the serpent, right there, the serpent is he contradicting God or what?
Yeah.
Like directly opposite. He said that God's lying, right? So the serpent is saying God's lying.
Yep. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For God do know that in the day ye eat therefore, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So watch this. I like all the way to 22. This is like my favorite part.
So hold up now. Go back to what I said. This tree gave the ability of the power of discernment. So this power of discernment in that verse is being equated to being a god. So when you have the power to discern, you are a god. According to that. Because if you read it again, it says, God knows in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So God, to be a god equals the ability or having the power to discern. All right. So I just want to point that out.
All right. So watch this. If you move down to 3:11, it says, and he said, who said thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree thereof I commanded thee that thou should have not eat? See, now they knowing that they naked, like they are aware of their surroundings now. Like they went from retarded to just eyes wide open. So almost like really this whole God thing is to keep you ignorant of things around you in your world. Do y'all get that?
Yeah, but you skip like finish where you from and then go lead into that. Because you skipped a lot.
I did. I didn't want to read all that.
Nah, that's the whole meat.
Where you want me to go at? Back up to where? 7? I was at 11. What you want me to do?
Nah, you went down to 7. Go from where I read what you said.
Huh?
You were at 5. You left off at 5.
I left off at 5, yeah. What you want me to do?
All right, so I'm gonna read 5 and you keep going. So God knows in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So I was explaining that that's the power of discernment is equated to being God. So now you go ahead after that.
You want me to go to 6?
Yeah.
Man. And then the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit, therefore, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
So hold up. So this power to discern is now equated to wisdom. I'm just stepping through it because it said to make one wise. But go ahead.
We got it again. Yep, to make one wise. There you go. Information. So what is scientific literacy? To be able to discern information, whether it's pseudoscience, correct information. That's the power of scientific literacy. Let me keep going. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves, right? Making clothes. That's part of technology, y'all. In case y'all didn't know, that's technology. So they get some science about themselves. They starting to make clothes, technology, right? Fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. They hiding. How you gonna hide? Let me stop. How you gonna hide from God? But that's another whole thing right there, right? So, all right, where we at? 9. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard a voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. 11. And he said, who told thee thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree, whereas I commanded thee that thou should have not eat? So at this point right here, right? Why is God, well, God shouldn't even be talking to him because they really should be dead. Right? Think about it, they should be dead. So it never was that they was going to be dead. The ignorance would die right there when they partake of this wisdom and knowledge, the discernment. Right? You know what I'm saying? That's what died. The ignorance died. The eyes was wide open. And that's what the conscious community was supposed to have been. It was supposed to have been a platform where your eyes was wide open. Somewhere, somehow, it got pseudorized.
Hey, but now this is the explanation that a lot of people who follow these Abrahamic systems will say that verse is talking about not a physical death, but a spiritual death. And so,
right.
we can equate spiritual death with what you just said. Spiritual death is really the death of ignorance. And so if they're calling it spiritual death, and what actually died was their ignorance because they came into a state of knowing, then what really died was their ignorance. So although the explanation today is spiritual death, then now we can set up an equation. Spiritual death equals ignorance as well, because they say you are disconnected from God, and that's why he threw them out the garden. But go ahead.
So I'm gonna move to 22, right? I can move to 22, right, Wu-Jia, or you want to say something else?
Hold up. You said 22. Hold up. Let me see. You trying to skip down? Hold up. Okay. Then he blamed. Then the blaming back and forth, and put enmity, and then the cursing took place, and then Adam blamed it on the woman, and you say you want to go to 22.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. All right.
My favorite part in the whole Bible. And the Lord God said, behold. Go back again. And the Lord God said, behold. Yo, hit you with the behold. God is a wild dude. Watch this. This has got to be, listen, man. This when I was woke. This when I realized, man, what's going on? What's going down? Right here, y'all. Watch this. Gonna prove everything that we just talked about right. God now is on our side. He's like, man, I can't trick them niggas now. You know what I'm saying? You know how you got smart and a person been trick you all the time and then you get smart? Man, they say, oh, man, I got to figure something else out. God say, I got to figure something else out. And behold, the man is become as one of us. He say the man. He don't include the woman. He said the man. He forget the woman. The man, though. It was the woman that actually gave the man that knowledge and wisdom. Looking out for her man. But he don't even recognize her. And Lord God said, behold, the man is become as one of us. Who the hell's the us? Wait a minute, Wu-Jia. Back up here, didn't the serpent say that? Is that 5? Yeah, that's 5. 5. Let's go back up to 5. For God do knoweth that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, Elohims, knowing good and evil. And God, that's the devil speaking, the Satan speaking right there, right? No, the serpent speaking right there, right? Then you come to 22, and the Lord God said, behold, the man is become as one of us, man, to know good and evil. Now watch this. Listen to this. God still can't kill him. Now they got the knowledge. Now God can't kill you with the ignorance, right? Think about that now. God can't kill you because watch this. He say, and now, least he, watch this, put forth his hand, check this out, and take also of the tree of life. There's another tree in there of life, right? And eat and live forever. So there's another tree called life, right? And you eat that and live forever, right? He said, therefore, the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. Now how did he stop him from going back in the garden? He says, so he drove out the man and he placed at the east of Garden of Eden cherubims of flaming swords, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Funny guy. God's a funny guy, man. When you get out of the stage of ignorance, God becomes a funny guy. That's why I be laughing. That's why we be laughing. Man, that's why we teach scientific literacy, man.
Was God a Christian?
Nah, ain't no Christians yet. Not in this time period.
Did God make the serpent? Did he create the serpent? Because it doesn't sound like one of his children.
Yeah, he did all that. Funny. God's a funny guy, man. I don't care what nobody say, man. Like, he's a funny guy, man. Funny guy.
So if people read it that way and just slow it down, they'll see what's meant by, you know, this ignorance thing. And so I bring up that story because that story tells on itself. It demonstrates the point that when the dust settles and the smoke clears, that God equates to ignorance. And in order for God to exist as a concept that people have high virtue and value in, they have to be ignorant. And so this is why in a lot of the belief systems, they promote ignorance rather than science, because you have to believe. And as a child, every child, most children are very inquisitive and scientifically minded by nature, by default. They want to test and experiment by default, but that's suppressed when they're in these institutions because they're not allowed to question. And so that suppression happens over periods of time. By the time they become a functioning adult, they have lost that curiosity, that drive. And so they settle and they start to accept things. What? They accept things that they don't know. And that's the definition of belief. To believe something is to accept something without knowing it. And so now we have adults that are in a state of belief. And God can live in that state. God can't live in science. And that's the difference. So God of the gaps is God's world begins where our knowledge ends. And so that's the thing. So that story tells on itself because God needs that. And to the point where he was so mad. And that's another interesting thing, because if Adam and Eve were to live forever, in order for them to live forever, they had to eat of this tree to cause them to live forever. And so they were cast away, so they couldn't. And so it was a temporary thing. So this knowledge was supposed to be temporary, but every step of the way, it persisted, and God got mad every single time.
Yeah, and that's a checkmate piece right there. Hey man, scientific literacy, man. All right. Hey, make sure y'all support all the channel and all the families, right? Support the podcast, politically incorrect. Where you at, Vance? Still on there?
Yeah, that shirt, scientific literacy. Oh, you took it off. Scientific literacy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vance, he dropped off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's scientific literacy right there. See that? Bang.
That's what we need, scientific literacy. But people got to understand that your journey in scientific literacy is going to be met with opposition from those who require belief.
It's a fact.
Because they can't coexist. Because either you know or you don't know. But now what we should realize is that neither one is bad. Like they both exist, and you're not going to get rid of both. You know, either one. We start off ignorant, and our journey is to pursue knowledge. and that should be everybody's pursuit, and we should be okay with not knowing. Um, but we shouldn't be okay with its permanency. We should be okay with its it being temporary. So we have to understand that, but that is our belief is the beginning of the journey, and the finish line is knowledge. And so that's the process, and that's how people should look at it. So everybody, so if you look at it on a bigger, grander scale, all of these functioning adults that are under the umbrella of a belief system, they're really in a immature state in a bigger scheme of things. Because like I said, as a child, you don't know anything. You go through life and you learning every day. And we, even as adults, we're still learning. But your journey is to know. Coming from a place of not knowing, your journey is to your goal is to know. So if we look at us on a bigger scale in human populations, those of us in human populations that are under belief systems, they are mental children because they're still in a state of belief and they haven't journeyed and reached the goal of knowledge. And so this is where you got this scientific communities versus the belief system communities. So you got children versus the mental children versus the mental adults. And that's what's going on. And God lives over there. God is a babysitter of the mentally immature children who are stuck in beliefs.
It's a fact right there. Stuck in faith and belief and ignorance, yo. So the world is ran with knowledge. You know how you say knowledge is power? The rich keep getting richer. That's because they know and understand. Like I think we were talking about this the other day, which I said, damn, when you help me get this color to this image, I'm like, damn, when you pay for your ignorance around here in this world, man. That's the first lesson to teach babies. That man, you pay for your ignorance. And somebody to know you have to always pay them. Feel me? You know what the rule is, right? Don't fish for me. I mean, don't give me no fish. Teach me how to fish. So that's what scientific literacy is. So if you really thought about this whole thing, hold on, I don't talk myself to death. Naisi, where you at? Still there?
Hey, I'm right here. What's going on?
Yeah, how that book coming along?
It's coming. It's coming.
All right, take your time. I know it's gonna be right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, take your time. Definitely take your time. So, I mean, everything good though, right? What chapter you working on? What chapter you working on right now?
Right now, I got to comply. I just got to put them in the order that I want. It ain't like I'm working on one chapter, two chapters like that. I'm just it's piecing together. So it's gonna be straight.
Just dealing with what again for the listening audience?
I said I'm just piecing it together. Then I put it on comply.
No, I heard you. I was saying for the listening audience, what is dealing with? What the book dealing with?
It's gonna be dealing with human migrations all the way to America, leaving out of Africa, migrating all the way to America. It's going to be dealing with the Ice Age and the different mutations and the weathers that cause the mutations and why it happened.
Well, brother, you know we was already here, though.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen. If they were different species under ice.
Hey, Nahisi, do you have a chapter on how the Earth is not round or flat, that it's really a pyramid?
Nah, I don't have nothing dealing with the shape of the Earth, but I know what you're saying.
I mean, because I don't know how people could migrate upwards.
Yo, it's funny, yo. Crazy. All right. So yeah, man. Y'all got anything? Any questions for the chat room? I know we ain't got no opposition. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of money, I just want to let everyone know that school season is about to begin, and I volunteered myself with 2 other parents to try to raise some money for school supplies for well, with us it's 50 students trying to contribute. And so I started a GoFundMe for anybody who who's able to contribute. Anything is better than nothing. So if anybody can contribute, I put the link inside the chat, and I'm gonna do it one more time. But it'll be appreciated because I teamed up with 2 other parents, and we are just want to contribute to the school supplies with other parents. A few groups of parents are doing this, trying to raise some money to buy a bulk of supplies, because companies and stores usually do it, and they do it in different areas and stuff. Sometimes you can't really rely on that all the time, and how those things are distributed. So we wanted to make sure we kind of focus on a group. And so I'm just doing my part to solicit funds through GoFundMe. So anyway, contribute what you can. $1, $5, $10, then anything is good. But it's from now till August, because the students here in this jurisdiction, they go back to school in August, sometime I think the second week of August. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure everybody know. I'm gonna put the link in there, so appreciate it if anybody help out.
All right. Good work. Yeah, we got any questions in the chat room? Shit, everybody kids going back to school, man. Damn, boy. Daughter going off to college. That's gonna be a good experience for her.
Oh, that's wonderful. What's she majoring in?
Damn, I think like biology or something like that, man. Ain't that crazy?
How about you talk about evolution enough? I was gonna ask you, is it gonna be biology?
Yeah, I think it might be, yeah. Oceanography, some shit like that. I know shit like that. That's a hell of a study right there. I just like to mention, man, a lot of the jobs for sciences and stuff, a lot of people come from other places of the world because American kids don't seem to want to do it, man. Crazy. A lot of jobs started in the 60,000s. You know what I'm saying? Interesting, man. Get your kids interested in science, man. So it's not necessarily a black thing. I mean, that we not scientifically literate, man. It's just being in America, period, man. That's a banging design right there you made, Wujada Amara Squad right there, bro.
That's the squad. Everybody should recognize that that symbol is the multicolored plume of the deity Amen.
I thought that was the 10 Commandments.
Right, the 2 tablets of the 10 Commandments. Huh?
Hey, man, y'all know what it is, man. That's funny as hell right there, yo. Hey, make sure y'all get the book, Amazon. Listen, it's all in the title. It's all in the title. Contribution to the debate on the meaning of the place name Kemet. Man, they fighting all through that. Should be crazy, yo. Well, yeah, brother Reggie, you took a whipping the other day. Boy, you been beat, you boy. Why'd you, man? Your hands is hot. Hands is hot. Yeah, make sure y'all get that book though. All right. Contribution.
Yeah. Get the book and then come ask questions. We welcome them, man. We want the feedback. We want the questions, but the all we ask is that people read the book and study it first. And what transpired the other day, the brother had an issue with one page 53, but I could tell they didn't read the whole book because what he was asking me was on previous pages, and it's it's a real quick fix. So just read the book, study it, digest it, let it marinate, and come ask questions, and we can have a good discussion. Actually, we're gonna do another Q&A. We did one already. We letting time pass by, but we're gonna do another Q&A. Myself, Sanjeti, Ankara, and Asari Motep. We're gonna set it up. So if you have questions, write them down and bring them. We have a real good discussion because it's all about progress. See, some people speak and talk just to spin their wheels. It's like just spinning out, burning your rubber instead of like moving forward in the conversation. So some people bring up the same thing over and over again to never really get anywhere. And it's like people got to hear a conversation take place. But no, we should speak in a way that we're solving problems and then moving on to the next, to the next, to the next, not keep rehashing old things. Just because people don't want to take the time out to understand, you know. So that's why we do it the way we do. All the videos and stuff that's made. And man, I wish the old Amara Squad channel wasn't was still there, because we had a lot of good builds recorded. Like seriously, we had man, we had some real good ones on evolution. What were some other ones, man? They're just gone. So we probably had to kind of revisit that, because those are some valuable videos.
Yeah, we got the younger brothers down to help us, can help us build out on that, man. Where you at, Double X? Where you at?
I'm here.
Like to say, brother.
No, I'm just listening. I'm just listening.
Yeah, ain't let you get lost. What's on your mind?
Nah, I'm not lost. Trust me, I'm just listening.
Love your energy. I know you got something on your mind, though. What's on your mind?
I ain't got nothing on my mind, bro. I'm just
Throw a
listening
shot at? Who you want to throw a shot at? What pseudo you want to swing at? Give us one. Give us one.
I don't want to swing at nobody right now. I'm just listening to what y'all talking about. That's all.
Not you. Oh no. Oh no.
But wait, speaking of pseudos though, I have to give a shout out to the brethren, my brethren, Jehudi Ma'at.
Oh wait, Jehudi on here, ain't he? Where he at?
Today he replayed some videos that I guess he made, and man, they had me laughing, because it's videos I forgot that he did the video, so I'm watching them, and man, they're more funnier than now than when I first saw them. You know?
Oh, he got that dude when he say we ain't the Earth ain't actually a is a what do you say about Africa is a planet?
He said Africa is a whole nother planet.
Whole nother planet, and the Earth is a pyramid.
The Earth is a pyramid. He said the sun is not really the sun. The sun is really inside the Earth, and what we're looking at in the sky is really a holographic projection. Africa is really another planet, and the Earth is flat all around.
Remember he was talking about cutting the chicken head off and dripping the blood into a cup and doing some African shit. I forgot what he was saying.
Against us. You trying to go against us with that one.
He says you ain't spiritual enough. You ain't ready to cut the chicken head off in the put the blood in the bowl. Get some blood on your hands.
No, he said all this with a straight face. He said that when he does videos, he's not the only one in the videos. There's other people in the videos. We just can't see them.
Yeah, he said the people in the trees. Did Jehudi put the tree in there shaking?
Oh, that's so damn crazy, man. And you know what, man? Like, I think the more ridiculous people are, the more the conscious community like to follow them, yo. Seriously, and that's why it's so important, man. And the word
Phil Valentine and them be having sold out concerts.
$50 a ticket, right?
Yo, I can't believe that shit. I be watching. I tell you, I never forget. I saw that one presentation they were giving, and the nigga said that the subconscious is connected to the knee bone.
Oh shit!
And niggas, it was like a whole crowd of motherfuckers in there. Nobody was like, "What the fuck?" And everybody was just following it like it was biblical.
Them tickets $100 early bird.
I ain't mad at them for making that money. It's just like a reflection of how stupid black people are at current, man. It's just sad.
But see, this is the thing, right? If anybody on the panel right now, if I were to say, let's go watch Avengers Endgame, right? We all buy a ticket, we go watch the movie, and we will most likely enjoy the movie because we have an understanding before we walk into the movie that it's just that. It's a movie, it's a science fiction, it's an adventure, you know, it's based on comic book characters and all that stuff. So we're not going to hold it to a certain standard or in any of that. We're going to take it as entertainment, and we're going to go there and watch it, and we're going to like it. So the problem is that we don't see this stuff that goes on, like y'all just said, the concert and saying all this stuff. We don't see it as entertainment, but we should.
But it's not. It's not entertainment for those people. It's real.
No, that's my point. I'm saying that's what I mean. They are not taking it for what it really is. It's really just entertainment, and they're behaving as if it's entertainment, but they're not realizing that it's not being realized as that, because they pay for it, they watch it, they get entertained, they go home, and it's a wrap. They wait for the next one. Same thing with movies. Same thing with concerts for musicians or whatever the case is. You're entertained. And that's what it should be seen at, but they don't. But it's not, the connection is like that is not made. They actually think it's real, and that it's accurate, real, and all this other kind of stuff.
They feel informed, not entertained. They feel informed, like they just learned some new shit. They feel educated.
And see, and this is the thing. In order to do that to one person, let alone a group of people, we refer to the people who are able to do that as illusionists or magicians, because when you can fool somebody and they don't even know that they're fooled, then that's like the goal of magic.
Magic, yeah, in a sense, yeah.
And so that's what we're dealing with. A lot of these teachers are really illusionists and magicians, although they won't call themselves that or anything. But that's the framework. That's how they would be characterized.
Yeah, the metaphorics, yes.
Right, and every magician relies on, in order to be a magician, you have to rely on the ignorance of somebody. Because if you know how I'm doing a trick, then my trick is not magic.
Mm-hmm.
You will be that whole story that we just read in the Bible will play out again. You'll become like me, because once you know how I'm doing a trick, now you become like me, and so I can't fool you no more. And so that's that whole story of how magic work, and that's why I equated in the presentation. I equated God, magic, and UFOs. I did a presentation on all three and what do they have in common, and that's the running theme. And so our folks play off of that theme, whether they intentionally do it or not. That's what's going on, and they become teachers in our communities, but they're really magicians, and they're banking on the ignorance of the people. And because of our lifestyle today, we have been conditioned to believe, which means to accept something you don't know. So we allow it because we don't have the time to study. We don't have time to discern. We don't have time to talk to this serpent to get the wisdom from him and say, all right, now you need to eat from that so you can discern. So that's what's going on.
Yes, Sean.
Man, I'm right here chilling, man. Listening to y'all.
Yeah, Chief.
I thought Chief X was in here.
I am King.
Oh, that's Sosa.
Hey, remember Sosa? You supposed to get that reference about that.
Oh, that's why I pulled up.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Y'all was trying to argue me down about humans drinking milk prior to 10,000 years ago.
Oh, fuck all that. Share your screen, nigga. I want to
Let's
see
get
that.
it.
Okay, Sosa.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, do that.
Around here. Hold on.
That nigga came in with the smoke.
Around here. I'm saying your name. Where you at, bro? Gosh, you mighty Melanetti. Where you at, bro?
What are you talking about?
That Femra. Am I saying it right, yo?
It's a Teppenra?
Where you at, bro?
The Teppenray? I don't know what that is. I can't pronounce it.
Hey,
yeah, I'm right here.
What's going on, brother, man? Shout you, Monty Melanetti on goddamn deck. Power team.
For sure.
What's good, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, quiet as this kept. Satep and Ra is a Jew, because Satep means chosen of God. Jews are chosen of God. So if you let somebody else tell it, that's what he would be.
That name was strategic right there, yo.
Chosen of Ray. We know where Ray is, the son, like the Sarah joints. There you go. Chief is in the building. How you doing, brother?
Uh-oh.
Favorite person.
We got
person,
We got I Am King Sosa and Chief X.
Oh hell no!
It's about to up
Oh,
Chief X.
damn.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. The moment Chief X light is off in his room, the moment if he ever turn that light on and stand up out of his chair, that's a wrap, boy.
Gone.
That's a wrap.
Hey, that link in the back chat for that source though, so we can get to it, because y'all arguing me down for about an hour over something y'all ain't know about.
What we argued you down about?
You and X.
What was it? What was it? Repeat it.
Repeat it. Yeah, repeat that.
I said that Europeans consume milk better than African Americans because they produce lactase into their adult years. They produce it. More Europeans, a higher percentage, produce lactase into their adult years. That was the argument. And you said, no, 75%, 65% of all people. Listen, all people. I said, no, it's different along ethnic background, along ethnic backgrounds. And then the other with X, I said 75% of African Americans are lactose non-persistent, which means lactose intolerant.
Go ahead, man. Fine, man.
Whoa, you said 75% of African Americans are lactose intolerant.
I got the article. Read your part. Don't tell me to death. Go read your source. Go ahead. I like it first. It's called the Clinical. Yeah, it's the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, Oxford. We're not gonna deal with these white people here, buddy. Sorry.
Get up out here with that. Hey, I respect that. That's how you do it. I respect that, bro. I can respect that.
No, sir. No, sir. X. No, sir. No, sir,
white man son. The white man son. My bad. I brought that white man son.
Yeah, go. That's that white man sons, man. Go find me a black guy. Shoot, we don't hear that. Go ahead, yo. Pull your. All right, what part you trying to read from that? The station.
Pull it up so I can see it. Pull it up so I can see it. I can tell you what's going on.
Because you really trying to
go down to go to
lactose.
Scroll down to lactose maldigestion intolerance.
God.
And then when you go down to that second paragraph when it says there are several forms of lactose maldigestion. I mean, again,
lactose maldigestion.
Yeah, they go to that third paragraph.
Type lactose malabsorption. Man, I'm not gonna struggle to these words today, boy. You better get on your reading game.
Look, I'm gonna go to the I'm gonna go step down to where it's at. I'm gonna go look. It says in population growth. Look, in population growth with predominantly primary lactase deficiency, loss of lactase activity begins between the age of 2 and 6. In white population with the low prevalence of lactase maldigestion, it starts later, in some cases after adulthood. And it gives down the frequencies, the percentages. And it says 6% of white Americans, let me go down some more. Yeah, 6% of white Americans, 18% of white Americans, 25% of Mexican descendants, 60% of Black South Africans. Then it keeps going down. Then it go down some more. Well, actually, it's up above. It's up above it. No, I'm in the wrong part. Let me go right here. No, I said we're up here not in the population. Up some more. It says the prevalence of primary lactase digestion is 3 to 5% in Scandinavia, 17% in Finland, 5 to 15% in Great Britain, 15% in Germany, 50 and 20% Austria. Blah blah. We go down right here. 70-90% in Africa, except the Bedouins. Huh?
Say it again. How many?
70 to 90% in Africa, except the Bedouins, the Tuareg, and the Fulani, because they cattle. They do the cattle herd. And then it keeps going. It says North American. It says 15% North American whites, 80% North American blacks. Right, and that's a number I gave.
Hey man.
Up to 75%.
Hey man, listen. Wait, hold on. Let me do this.
We learn something new every day. That's it.
No, let me say this. Hold on.
I just studied that already. I already studied that.
No, relax. Let me say this point here. You was trying to make it seem like, I'm gonna tell you how you did it. You was trying to make it seem like it was a black thing that we lactose intolerant, right?
No, I just said that African Americans have trouble drinking milk into their adult years more than Europeans do.
No, but you framed it in a way where it was a black thing. Come on, man. Stop that. We know that.
Exactly. That's why we were arguing.
Yeah,
Come on, dude.
I said we
yeah,
suffer
right?
from.
And
Yeah,
hold
no,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Hold
We
on.
suffer more than
Hold on.
Europeans. That ain't
And
just
then
because of the
hold
black
on.
thing. Asians suffer worse than blacks.
All right, let me go with my point. But then I read an article. I was trying to show you that that's based off of being part of cattle herding societies that also are in Africa originally. So it wasn't like it was a black thing. It was a human thing. Remember I said that?
Yeah, you said that, but
So
you
you're
don't have
right.
to read the
You're
article.
right. No. Listen, as of right now, based off of the moral majority of us not coming from herd communities, of course that we have problems being lactose intolerant. But the truth is, it's not a black thing. It's a thing of those who aren't part of herding societies. So the pseudo will take that and make it seem as if it's just black. Hold on, let me show you what they'll do, bro. I'm not saying you doing this. They'll say that's why we shouldn't drink milk. That's why we vegans, yada. That's not it. It's a human thing. It's a mutation for human beings. It ain't got nothing to do with you being black or Chinese. It's really if you're part of a herding society or not, which allows you that mutation. That's what it really is. The pseudo has taken that out of context, bro. So you did bring that information. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but listen. I understand that completely because I read the studies. But the argument started when I said 75% of African Americans are lactase non-persistent. Like I know it's funny because I've done the research.
You said
I wouldn't say
75%.
that because even if you're lactase non-persistent, you still need to take supplements to get that milk. Because I mean, there's a whole PDF on. Like I would never tell you not to stop drinking milk. Go ahead, X.
You said lactose intolerant.
Lactase non-persistent and lactase intolerant is the same thing, bro.
No, it's not.
Lactase intolerant and lactase non-persistent is the exact same thing.
All right,
okay, can I ask that real quick, Aunt?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just
oh, he got that light
on. Just for clarity's sake, you both are right. You know, Europeans are able to drink milk without the consequences as much as black folk. Okay, so he's right and Ankh is right. Ankh is just giving a reason why scientifically, but also you got to understand this element. Like I'm lactose intolerant. There's levels to people's lactose intolerance.
Right.
So I can't drink milk, but I can eat cheese and ice cream and be okay. So people have different levels. You got to. That's just one thing people got to understand also.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm gonna agree with you on that, Chief. Hold on, because I'm lactose as well, and I'd like to tell people too, it's levels to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I can't. Hold on. Let me finish, huh? I can't eat no dairy. Oh, from as long as I can remember. As long as I can remember.
All right, good.
Well, as far as I can remember, I tried it. Like I tried to drink milk. Try to eat pizza, all that, like, and I just can't do it. You feel me? Like, what's levels to it? Like, and I was talking to somebody today, and it was like, yeah, I'm lactose. I can like do certain things, but I can eat pizza, but I can't drink milkshakes. You know what I'm saying? I can't do none of it.
I drink lactose milk, and I'm okay.
Yeah, I can't drink none of it. I can't eat no macaroni and cheese. I can't do none of it.
Yeah, that's messed up.
It's real.
But see what I was saying though too is like there's a difference between drinking it and then eating it. You know what I'm saying? Like certain people, that's why I understand the levels, and that's why I was trying. That's really what I was trying to break down, uncle them, because like everything I already knew the research. Like that's why I told them when we didn't start drinking milk till 10,000 years. I was trying to really break it down so they could understand that it popped up in different regions, so different ethnic groups it spread more rapidly in Europe than it did in Africa because there were invasions that passed along faster than it did in Africa. So that's why I was trying to let them know that there were differences now that we're in America because some of us are not exposed to it as others. That's all I was trying to say. But I'm not trying to say don't drink milk. I would never tell nobody to do that because when you read the studies, the studies will tell you what to do. The studies will tell you even if you're lactase intolerant, you may still be able to consume a little bit of milk, like maybe like an 8-ounce glass But they always say to try to get it in or take some supplements to help you drink milk.
I'm just want to let you know the studies from 2001. You know that, right?
You can get it. If you can find a study that's taught that, bro.
Listen, I'm just saying the article I brought you was up to date article. Remember that?
You want that? You want that Smithsonian? You want that Smithsonian?
Right, that's up to date. What's the date?
Nah. See, listen, let me explain. See, what y'all don't understand is that what X read. Listen, what X read was it said 74% of African Americans have the ability to be lactose intolerant. But what I don't know, and I know, is that you can be lactose intolerant and not experience any symptoms. So that number percentage is not going to be included in that. But that's what I'm trying to tell you when y'all just reading an article. You cannot really get all the other layers just from a little article. You gotta be studied in it. At least I studied that little part of it to get it. That's what I was trying to say.
I just got one question.
I ain't ready to give up yet. I see the reference, nigga. I ain't
Hey, I got one question.
Not giving up yet. Where that article at? Go ahead, Sean. Where that article at?
It's over.
It ain't over. It ain't over. Trust me, it ain't over.
Hey, okay, so I have a question. How many people in the audience or in the conscious community signed up to steal alien secrets from Area 51?
Oh hell no!
They gonna get shot.
I think that's a hoax. Hell yeah, they got bombs out. They got mines out there, man. Crazy.
They gonna get shot, and then they gonna put the date they gonna do it. Already told them don't do it.
Yeah, that's somebody trying to trick them folks.
They might run out there too, though, yo.
Somebody gonna do it. You know what it is.
Young got people signing up. You know, Buzz Lightyear, he definitely got them signed up. Go ahead, X. Read that real quick. Read that real quick, X. We're gonna move on to.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the Unc, I'm gonna put the link in the back chat so you can read it because I'm looking into something else to
You trying to find a loophole? Ain't nothing. X ain't even had a percentage you can give.
X find that.
Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna give him a percentage since you want a percentage. He bringing
I
shit
said 66%. You might get 60.
That nigga bringing shit from 01. Hold on.
Yeah, we ain't gonna go with the old 15 years later.
We had Smithsonian.
There's a lactose map, just like they got a skin map.
Hold on, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, you rolling. I like the lactose map. I like that. That's slick.
Where's Smithsonian? Smithsonian.com.
You might be able to hang around a little bit there, I am Sosa, but you might be able to hang a little bit.
He's gonna get moved. Lactose tolerance and human evolution. All right, let's scroll down. You want a percentage? Where is it at? It was further down. All right, the ability to digest lactose is also evidence that humans are still evolving. In those 10,000 years, it arose independently in at least 4 places around the globe. Today, more than 90% of all people have some degree of lactose tolerance. How much tolerance people have depends on which gene variants and the number of copies of those genes they possess. About a third of the population digests lactose imperfectly and experiences some symptoms of lactose intolerance. And some people, mostly of African, Asian, or Mediterranean descent, are not able to digest lactose at all. I gave him the percentage. Oh, today more than 90% of all people have some degree of lactose tolerance.
All people.
Of course, I don't disagree with that. That's in an article that you looking at, the pro one I got. But see, what you're going to understand is that those percentages break down when you split them up into ethnic groups. Now, when you average them all up, you get 90% because so many Europeans are like 10%, 15%, 5%, except for the southern Europeans because they isolated. You see what I'm saying? Like I've already done it. I gotta get
that. Hell no, I gotta get that NCBI article. The one
you the milkman, yo. You the milkman.
You got at least one L. You got at least one L. Floyd Mayweather, Douglas Mayweather.
No, never that. You said 75% of African Americans were lactose intolerant.
Yeah, lactose intolerant, lactase non-persistent, the same thing.
That's in 2000. That's 2001.
He got to understand possessing symptoms.
No. That's not what my article says. It does not say possessing symptoms.
What did it say?
It does not say that.
That's what I'm saying. I get my NCBI article because it's talking about the possession of symptoms, and it makes a distinction between the possession of symptoms and then being completely lactose intolerant.
Exactly, but they're not going to include the number of people that Africans that are lactase non-persistent and don't experience symptoms. They're talking about the percentages that can experience symptoms, not the one that got it and won't experience symptoms.
Are you telling me that if a person experiences some symptoms, that makes them lactose intolerant?
I think what you're asking, if they don't experience symptoms, will they still be lactase non-persistent? That's what you're asking, right?
No, I'm asking you, if they experience some symptoms, are you saying that they're lactose intolerant?
No, it depends. It depends. I'm not going to play semantics.
Come on,
lactase, 75% of African Americans are lactase non-persistent. They're the source.
Hold on. If you say that they're lactase non-persistent, is that saying that they're lactose intolerant?
Yes, lactase non-persistent is a more clinical way to say it. The term is lactase persistent and lactase non-persistent.
So he don't realize the levels to this shit. He don't realize the levels to this shit.
Go ahead, let him talk. Go ahead, Arms. Go ahead, X.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you again. If a person experiences,
don't answer that. I am so for the milkman. Don't answer that.
That's where he gonna track himself up at. If a person,
I ain't finna put it on another page with you. 75% of African Americans are lactase non-persistent, family. I ain't going nowhere else. Right there, bro.
Don't answer that steam, yo. Don't answer that.
I have no problem. We about to put him in the pot now. I am Sosa. If a person experiences symptoms of lactose intolerance, does that mean, if a person experiences symptoms of lactose non-persistence, does this mean that they're lactose intolerant? Talk, Sosa.
Wow. Where you be? All right, I'm not going there, bro. But find me another percent. I got 75%. Find me 60.
If you don't answer that question by default,
conversation is over, bro. Cause he gonna play word game and semantics and try to get straight.
Really not. If you don't answer that question,
come on, man.
Find me something that say
you said it was. Now he asking you shaky on it. Come on, yo.
Yeah, why
not? He gonna play word semantics and all that. I ain't got time for that.
Why are you running from the pot? Why are you running from the pot?
Just go, man.
You try to play word. He's slithering. Listen, find me a number that says less than 75%. That's it. Chief X, you up? What's going on, Chief?
What's happening with you?
Hey, I'm an X Day. You lost the debate. How you feel about that?
Let me just give a little clarity on that. I keep telling people that anyone who thinks I lost didn't know the topic.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I just want to be clear so people can know the topic.
Don't let it off it though. I wrote
down the topic, but I don't want to get off. I don't want to get into that subject. Let me finish dealing with Sosa first, and then we're gonna go into your debate.
Get back on ahead, Sosa. Don't run. You had me convinced for a slight moment in 2001.
I got that nigga with the tongue.
Because he gonna try to be slippery. Now of course you can experience.
No. You asked me that. Remember, I asked you. I said, "Yo, that's not the same." You said it was. Now he's asked you directly again. Is it or isn't it, yo? Come on.
What? No, lactase intolerance and lactase non-persistent is exactly the same thing. You gotta look it up. Now you can experience from milk and not be lactose intolerant. Like you could be allergic to cow's milk.
Right,
I mean, there's levels to it.
Okay,
I ain't dealing with that. Lactase non-persistent.
He answered the question there. He answered the question, yo.
Let me ask him the question.
You could be allergic. You could be allergic to cow's milk. You can have a milk allergy. Like what kind of game was you playing, bro?
Man, god damn, the milk man.
I ain't asking you that, man. What I'm asking you is this: if a person has symptoms of if a
listen, the answer is no. The answer is no, because they could be allergic to cow's milk, or they could have some type of milk allergy.
No, you just said no.
That's the answer.
Damn. How you gonna say no after you gave us all them damn thing numbers?
No, because they're not talking about. They're talking. The article specifically says lactate. He's trying to change. That's why I said I ain't going down that road. The article is not talking about experiencing symptoms. That's what you're talking about.
Also to be clear, a milk allergy is a way worse condition than lactose intolerant.
Okay, well, you know what lactose intolerant means? I'm about to get him now. You know what lactose intolerant means? I am King Sosa, because you said lactase non-persistence and lactose intolerance are the same thing. Did you not?
It's the ability.
I asked you that. I asked you a very simple question. Did you just say lactase non-persistence and lactose intolerance are the same? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you certain of this?
The ability to produce lactase in your adult years.
I said, are you certain that lactase?
Yes. What's your definition, X? Go ahead.
If lactose intolerance and lactase.
No. Give me the definition. Give me the definition.
I'm not playing a game with you. I'm in NCBI. It's a government website or whatever. And it's talking about lactase non-persistence and the potential for lactose intolerance.
Yeah.
So we know they're not the same thing. They're not the same thing. One produces the potential for the other, but it's not the same thing. So you're wrong on that. And the question that we have for you was not whether or not.
Listen.
Hey, yo, somebody got that volume loud.
Listen. In the source I posted, just read it, and you're gonna get a clear definition, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not studied in the subject, bro. You're arguing from a position of ignorance. You're gonna Google beat me. You ain't gonna Google beat me, family. You cannot Google beat me. Read the article. Read the article I posted.
But you just were wrong. I read articles before. Did you read the article that I gave you last time? Did you read that NCBI article?
Yes, I did. I explained, bro.
Look, you got the definition. You wouldn't get it confused.
Bro, I'm not gonna do that with you. Look,
I'm there with him, yo.
This guy crazy.
You know he trick you up, yo. Don't.
Yo, he said lactase. He said lactase non-persistence. He said lactase non-persistence and lactose intolerance are the same thing, and they're not. And the argument that we were having before was whether or not Black people were 75% lactose intolerant, not whether they had some symptoms of lactose intolerance because of a lactase non-persistence. It's a difference. You the one playing games, mixing up communications.
I'm not mixing it up. You don't know what you're talking about, family. You're embarrassing yourself.
I'm embarrassing myself, but this is the guy that told us that lactase non-persistence and lactose intolerance are the same thing, and you can look it up and see that they're not.
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that, Milkman. You did.
I don't get this. Yo, that wasn't the only thing he said.
That don't mean you was wrong, bro, because you brought I like the source you brought. It was.
I like they brought up a source, but he was wrong.
No. Because listen, I can go to the map, and it's really from that source. And when you look at the graph, it says lactose intolerant.
I mean, listen. All right, you brought a credible source. Listen, that's all I asked for. Listen, bro, for the credible source, right? So I'm gonna commend you for that.
But it's talking about maldigestion. This nigga is talking about lactose intolerance.
I know.
What he's confusing is the two terms. He doesn't realize that there's a difference.
Bro, I ain't gonna keep arguing with you.
Yeah, I did. I read this shit. It's right here. When it goes into, there are several forms of lactose maldigestion. In primary or adult type lactose malabsorption, lactase activity is high at birth, decreases in childhood and adolescence, and remains low in adulthood. This primary hypolactasia is also called lactase non-persistence.
Exactly. Stop.
Oh, can you let me
this primary hypolactate is also called, what is it also called, X? What is it called in addition to? Lactase non-persistence.
Okay, but you said lactose. No, you confusing shit. You said lactose intolerance and lactase non-persistence was the same thing. Lactase non-persistence produces the potential for lactose intolerance. You need to get your shit straight before you start bringing your shit.
Yeah, that's real. That's it.
He's wrong because when you look at it
he's wrong because I wasn't wrong. You said that black people 75% are lactose intolerant, and that's wrong.
Listen. Google lactase non-persistent and then read the definition.
You mean lactose deficiency or lactose insufficiency? Because the article talks about lactose insufficiency.
It's the same thing, you're just rewording it.
No, hold on, let's get it straight. Hold on.
He said Google, He said Google lactase non-persistent.
Hold on, let's go to medical net. Lactose deficiency, lack of enzymes, right? Lactose.
Yeah, that's lactose.
Okay. In the small intestine, lactose is needed to digest lactose, a sugar found in it.
Yeah.
All right.
But hold on, he told us to Google lactase non-persistence.
That's what I'm reading right now. He says the same thing.
No, you read something else. You didn't read lactase non-persistence.
I read lactose deficiency.
It says right here, lactose intolerance. And parentheses, lactase non-persistent. Lactose intolerance is a deficiency. See what I'm saying, bro? Like, come on, stop with the game.
Stop.
Hold on, slow it down. Hold on, we gotta slow it down. Come on, man, stop. So you're saying that lactose intolerance is different from lactase
non-persistence produces lactose intolerance. It produces symptoms. I figure when there's a sufficient amount of the accumulation, you would call it lactose intolerance. But maldigestion of lactose isn't lactose intolerance, and this is what I'm trying to get him to understand.
Bro, hey, listen, I'm done. Like, if that's not enough, bro, I'm done arguing with you. Bro.
It's the same thing.
I'm not for. Hey, it's only to keep arguing with family, man. I'm for let it go, bro.
So you saying no? I'm just trying to hold on. Now we're at the stage of learning at this point. So you saying they're two different things, or the same thing? And you saying one for clarity, X. You saying that one leads
right? lactase non-persistence leads to the symptoms of lactose intolerance.
So why don't you just read the definitions, bro? Read me the definition.
Definition of what?
Lactase non-persistent, family. Come on, stop it, bro.
Okay,
and then share your screen share your screen.
You know that I got you. Lactase. Hold on.
Hey, let me say this real quick, man. Appreciate you, Mr. Omar. That conversation we was having yesterday. What's going on, B More? What's up with you, bro? Hey, that conversation we had. Yes, and that conversation we had, about we were talking about atheists, right?
Yeah.
So here you go. It was like, let me see, y'all. I don't know if it was you. They were saying that atheists and anti-theists were different. That's what they were saying. That's what it was.
No.
Yeah, I remember it was. We was talking about atheistic. Atheistic religions and non-theistic religions.
Yeah. Then we got into where y'all was saying that atheists, right, was different from anti-theists. Remember that?
No, I think we was.
Yeah, y'all was you're an anti-theist. You ain't an atheist. Remember they kept saying that?
Yo called you that. My man X called you that.
What you what?
Nah, the other dude did, my man.
What's
his name, X?
Nah, that was me, bro.
Corey.
I said that I was an anti-theist.
Yeah.
I think Brother X Ivan was saying that Brother Unc was more closer to a deist. Or was that
No, that was whatchamacallit.
That was the other dude. Damn, what was his name, man? It was the other dude that was on here with us. X know his name.
Yeah, he tried to say he said I wasn't an atheist, I was an anti-theist. Remember he said that?
Oh, Corey said he was an anti-theist.
Yeah, okay, but Corey, listen, hold on. Hey, yeah, you said that's what you was, but y'all was saying that. Listen, so an anti-theist is the same as an atheist, yo. Remember I told
they
you
were saying you was a non-theist, or something like that.
He was saying I was an anti-theist. I'm telling you, yo. Listen. Well, here go the sword. Look, I won't read this again now, y'all, on this motherfucker. So we can get this real clear. Hey, Milkman, don't run though, yo. I mean, you got a good point. We just trying to figure out something, yo. You there? I mean, I thought, but you're in 2001 though. The 2001 might not help you. We can do a little bit better. There's a lot of stuff.
I was studying the genome. Like it was last year when I was studying the genomic. When it came into Europe.
I mean, you know way more about milk than I want to, yo. So I gotta. Damn.
Yeah, it ain't that I know a lot about milk. It's just that when it comes to Europeans, like that's a marker. Like that's how they trade. Cause like the modern day Europeans ain't but like 4,500 years old. Like the modern day Europeans, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a marker. Let me read this right
and
here.
That's a marker. They trace the way the milk drinking herd came in.
It's got to do with evolution, you know.
And that's how I know. That's how I know. I ain't, I just getting. I don't care about milk like that.
I got you. So where you at? So you say you're anti-theist, am I correct?
Correct.
Now watch this. Are you familiar with the Alpha Provans? You familiar with that?
The Alpha Provans? I mean, I heard that, man. Refamiliarize, freshen up.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Atheism is a theism. All right, so you put the A right there, theism, right? So A hyphen theism, all right? It says an atheist is someone who does not subscribe to the central tenets of theism. Hear me? The A is an Alpha Provans. It denies what follows. Get that? So an atheist denies what the theist tries to confirm. So you can't separate the two terms because that is the damn term. You can't say you cannot say you're anti-theist or atheist. That's the same word, dude.
See, I agree with everything that you just said, but what I would only add is that anti-theism it entails atheism. So you have to be an atheist first, and then you graduate into anti-theism. You see what I'm saying?
Nah, but that's
where I was at with it.
He
but I agree
with
everything you just read. I don't disagree with nothing you just read.
No, because it's the A. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's called the anti. The A is you deny what follows. If you listen. If you're anti something, you're what?
Against it.
You're against it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're denying it.
Yeah.
That's what atheist is. But they use it. It's called an Alpha Provans.
I think it's a little bit more aggressive though. The anti, like you say, you got the A. I think the A is just meaning without, right?
No,
I don't think it means anti.
No, the A means you're against what follows it. That means you're against the theism. That means watch this. Now watch this. Because atheism is denial of theism. Right? Mm-hmm. Every tract on atheism should also address the question, what is theism? Do you know what theism is?
The belief in God.
Nah, nope. Theism is the same as a more current term, monotheism. It's a theists are adherents to one of the three holistic religions, man. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So everybody listening to the show should be that. They should be atheists. They're against Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. That's all that means, bro.
Oh. So what about other religions?
That ain't got nothing to do with it. That's the point. You can apply it. Well, this is from the General Religious Society.
All right, so cool. So back to
because of the world, listen.
Back to our conversation from the other night. You try to apply atheism to Hindu religion.
Jainism.
Right.
Yeah, I did. No. You got that wrong. I didn't try to apply anything.
Go ahead.
The source did. The issue of atheism. Source.
Okay. Okay. Well, and that was my disagreement.
Okay,
I'm like, you're taking a Greek term and blanketing it over whole cultures that have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
But they deny God though, yo. They don't have no gods. They deny God. They don't deal with God. They say no, God don't got nothing to do with that. They denying God. Basically,
white people trying to confuse me.
Yeah, I think the disagreement was he said atheistic religion, and I think somebody had a disagreement with that.
It was non-theistic. When you take a course, they call Buddhism and certain Hindu religions as non-theistic. That's just the term they use. I don't know why they use it.
I know why.
Go ahead.
I know why. Look at the word. Because they're not monotheists, yo. That's the point. You get that? They're not monotheists.
Okay.
That's why they would actually apply that in the real technical sense.
So that would make everything revolve around Abrahamic faiths.
Right. That's how they do it. That's
No,
the same thing with the word God. God do the same thing though. Right? God make everything revolve around God. Motherfuckers niggas wasn't even saying God.
Right. So they trying to make everything revolve around Christianity, Judaism, and Islam.
Right. They ain't because the
that
Egyptians
shit don't even fit. It don't fit though.
Yeah, they call it Greek. They call the Egyptians pagans, yo.
Yeah.
Heathens. Right? West Africans, they heathens, yo. They got all these idols and sticks and bones. And the Egyptians got unks and all that. They heathens.
So what should you call yourself if you just don't believe in none of that? If you don't believe in the African gods or the South American gods or the monotheistic gods.
I ain't get that far. I don't know.
Yes. Why do we gotta why do everybody gotta fall under their categories?
No, I think that I think in today's usage though, when you call yourself an atheist, then that means you just don't you don't believe in no gods at all, right?
Right.
Okay. In today's usage,
Greek,
yeah,
you don't believe in none of them.
Yeah, but the Egyptians, the Egyptians, they would call them like soft atheists though, because they pantheists. They call them, they consider to be soft atheists.
That's what I claim, pantheism.
And so you're a soft atheist then.
Basically a soft atheist.
The pantheist is the same thing as the deist. What we was talking about, Chef Ron, the other day, the deist with a D.
Oh, the D. But a pantheist means that you don't think there's a God outside of nature that created everything. You say that everything is a God. That's the difference.
That's just like a deist. That's just what a deist is.
Oh, a deist.
Very similar to that. Very similar.
Yeah, I usually describe it as I don't believe in a single entity male creator God as a pantheist. We think everything in creation in life is of creation, is God. So we don't believe in a creator. We do believe creation. As a pantheist, we believe in evolution too.
No doubt. Yeah, I know a few pantheists. They definitely accept science. For the most part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they say nothing was outside of nature. Everything, they deify everything. Everything is deified. The trees, everything, right?
Basically. Yeah, some people say trees is God. I used to say the trees is of God. Because everything in creation is of God.
You sound mixed up, Chief. What the hell wrong with you?
No, I'm saying different ways people word it.
Trees is of God. How can the hell can the trees be of God when everything?
Because they're using God as a word of creation.
Oh man, it's no such thing as creation.
Yeah, creation is the problem. That word.
Yeah, it's
because
one
creation
time when you say creation,
you saying as a creator.
You saying as a creator.
Or they say we are all creators and co-creators. We create things as human beings.
So why can't creation be a continual thing?
Stop using the word creation.
Why can't creation be like everything is creating at all times? There's never a moment where life is not creating, because out of death comes life. You feel me? Like it's always moving. It's not a creator or one creation. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is always creating.
That's called existence.
Facts. But the only way stuff can exist, right, is through death and life and birth. The only way.
But I think when we use the word creation, it still goes back to creator.
No. Creation comes out of a creator.
Right. So it's going to keep us in that same cycle. It's going to keep us, chasing our tail.
Well, just to be clear, like if I build a house, I can say this is my creation.
Yeah.
If I mow down some mountains to create a road and make people be able to travel from Los Angeles to Las Vegas to the desert, that is the creation of mankind.
Right.
So I'm just initially saying it depends how you word things. I don't disagree with anything you guys said, though, by the way.
Right.
You're scared. If you don't say it right, God gonna get you. Look, Chief, a little bit scared. I don't know quite. I don't know. Yo, you got the I don't know.
Hey,
that's all that gospel music.
Definition for Chief.
That's all that gospel music Chief be listening to. He be sending little links on Facebook and stuff. Send me little gospel song to play on YouTube.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm a music lover, a real music lover.
That Marvin Sapp song was tight though. That Marvin Sapp gospel song you sent, it was
right.
Go ahead, Corey, you gonna say something?
Chief, I got the definition of deist for you. I just wanted to see if you kind of fall along these lines. It says the belief that God has created the universe but remains apart from it and permits his creation to administer itself through the natural laws. Deist thus rejects the supernatural aspect of religion, such as belief and revelation in the Bible and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It stresses the importance of the ethical conduct. You know what I mean? So that's like basically what a deist is. He don't interact. God don't interact with you or nothing like that. He just leaves its creation. So it's still using the word creation. It leaves its creation to administer its own self through the natural laws. So you kind of how you feel about that one, Chief?
I disagree with that. No, I'm a pantheist.
Okay.
I disagree with that. He's basically talking about a creationist.
God. So you believe in the gods?
Nope.
Everything is God. That's pantheism.
Just for the layman, for the common folk, I was saying sometimes pantheists separate the word creation and God, or even change. So if I say creation, I'm trying to convey an idea to the common folk.
Okay.
Pantheism is like the belief that God is in everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that there is nothing outside of nature. Yeah. So the scientist says what? There's no supernatural, correct? There's nothing outside of nature. That's why they call pantheists soft atheists. That's a quick lesson.
Hey, yo, I just gotta put this out there.
I'm gonna tell you why I agree with you saying it's soft. Because it is soft instead of just full blown saying no.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an agnostic too. Have you heard of agnostic?
Yep. Know what the agnostic is.
Hey,
go ahead, bro.
Yo, I just want to say, I am King Sosa. I'm about to cook the shit out you. This whole time I've just been gathering this shit. He confused maldigestion with lactose intolerance. I just
no.
He also confused lactase non-persistence with lactose intolerance.
You did a little bit.
I'm looking at the definition right now. Lactose intolerance, in parentheses, lactase non-persistent. But either way, bro, I got a chart that's from that same source that says lactose intolerance. So either way you want it, I'm gonna put that one up. Go ahead.
Let me just share my screen to cook him real quick. This shit easy.
Yo, like man, he just won't give up on Sosa no matter what. He had a nigga dead, shot him in the head.
When you wrong, you wrong.
That nigga like Jesus.
Now remember, he said,
coming back.
Remember what what's my man name? I am King Sosa said that African Americans are lactose intolerant. That's what he said.
Yeah, go ahead. What hey, what's supposed to use, yo?
Huh? I'm pulling. Look, I pulled
PubMed. PubMed, right?
We are NCBI.
Yeah, PubMed. Go ahead.
Now, this myth of increased lactose intolerance in African Americans. Why the fuck would they call it a myth of increased lactose intolerance if black people truly were lactose intolerant?
Let me read the comprehension.
Let me go, because I'm gonna get into your misunderstanding of maldigestion, lactose maldigestion, and lactose intolerant.
No, stay right there.
Hold on. Your source did not say we were lactose intolerant, because I read this shit. It said we were 80, I think it said 80% of us maldigest.
It did say that.
Lactose. I can go back to it. It's no problem. I just want to cook his crazy ass real quick. Now let's read the abstract. The myth of increased lactose intolerance in African Americans. In the United States, approximately 3/4 of African Americans have the potential for symptoms of lactose intolerance. Not that we have lactose intolerance, because you have to get diagnosed for that. And we're going to get into that too. Have the potential for symptoms of lactose intolerance, because lactose digestion depends on the presence of the enzyme lactase fluorescein hydrolase, which is reduced by up to 90 to 95% in individuals with lactase non-persistence. So we now understand lactase non-persistence is not lactose intolerance.
That's what we call it, though.
No, that's not.
I just put another source. Source in the back chat, right? If you click on that, it's gonna put up the graph, and it's gonna say specifically lactose intolerance, and it's gonna break it down by percentages based on ethnicity and region, and just go from right there, bro. That way we just wrap it up.
Not only that, but hold on, we're gonna go to medicine net.com. Another qualified source to read you.
Let me ask you a question.
Lactose, hold on, before you get into that, let me finish this. What lactose intolerance is, because I want to get into people misdiagnosing themselves.
I know that people misdiagnose themselves, bro.
Okay, but you just gave us a misrepresentation of what African Americans have, which is maldigestion of lactose due to our lactase non-persistence. There's a big difference between lactose intolerance and lactase non-persistence. You said it was the same, because you said a big difference.
There is no big difference.
Subtle difference.
Lactase non-persistence produces lactose intolerance. There's a difference. You need to know the difference. Hold up.
Of course it would produce it. That's how could it not? How could it not?
Man, you know what you just gave me, yo?
Hold on.
No, the graph, right? There's a link in the source. And that source going to take it to the same link that I was on. That's why I put it there first. That's why I didn't go to that first. I just went straight to the main source. But that graph, if you look in the paragraph, is a link that clicked and send you straight to the source that I use. That was a way to make it more simple.
You got French to 65. You got French to 65%, African American 70 to 90%. But then you got the Ashkenazi Jews 60 to 80%. I mean, goddamn though, yo.
That's because of South France
can't drink milk.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah.
That's
lactase non-persistent. But look when you get to the more Europeans, though. Look, the Europeans are the best at it. Look when you get to the Europeans.
What? You got French, Southern France, yo. You got
Southern France. They was isolated. Mm-hmm. That's why I told you that Southern France, they were isolated.
You got Australia, Germany.
I can't drink that shit.
Yeah, I can't drink it too much, but I mean, it took me to about 40 I could drink like that. I've been
balled me up bad.
Now, I can drink a milkshake right now and I'm having. I just can't do it too much. You know what I'm saying?
But that lactates, the lactose and all of that, that was a part of the Human Genome Project and shit like that too. You know that? Did you check that out in there? That
No,
was
I didn't.
a
I know it was.
big time deal.
Hold on, you see my screen real quick?
All right, let's see where you at.
I'm not done.
X, I think you just bringing more clarity to it. Go ahead, let me see your screen. Go ahead.
No, because he said they were the same and they're not. Black people are not lactose intolerant, and he needs to understand that.
Go ahead.
Is there a test for lactose deficiency? Although there are several good ways to diagnose lactose intolerance, most people who consider themselves lactose intolerant have never been formally tested for intolerance. Approximately 20% of people who think they are lactose intolerant are not lactose intolerant. Why do people believe that they are lactose intolerant when they are not? This erroneous belief may be common for several reasons. People with unexplained, undiagnosed gastrointestinal symptoms are looking for an explanation for their symptoms. Since lactose intolerance is a well-known and common condition, it provides these people with a ready and welcome explanation for their symptoms. Confirmation that lactose intolerance is present often is made subjectively and without careful correlation between ingestion of milk or milk products and symptoms. Also, there are placebo responses. That is, people think they are better when they are not.
Okay, so look at the article. Look at the article.
I'm not done. I am King Sosa. I'm not done. Formal testing for lactose intolerance is valuable. Not only can testing confirm lactose intolerance and prompt the institution of a reduced or lactose-free diet, but it also can exclude lactose intolerance and direct attention to diagnosing other conditions and diseases that are responsible for the symptoms. Now, let's go to the article that you gave us. Where is that shit at? I'm going to share my screen once more, and we're going to read the article that he gave us. Because it never said that those people were lactose intolerant. He tried to throw that shit in there on the
a chart. I just showed you a chart.
Yeah, I'm going to go look that one up too, but first we got to deal with the bullshit you put forward initially.
That chart is from the same source. That's the same source, bro.
Yeah, I got no problem with that, bro. This is what you put forward initially, where it says there are several forms of lactose maldigestion. This is not talking about lactose intolerance.
Read it. Just read it, bro. Just read it.
No problem. There are several forms of lactose maldigestion, and primary or adult type lactose. Yo, what the fuck? Niggas fixing cars? There are several forms of lactose maldigestion. In primary or adult type lactose malabsorption, lactase activity is high at birth, decreases in childhood and adolescence, and remains low in adulthood. This primary hypolactasia is also called lactase non-persistence and is the normal physiological situation for mammals and humans. With the exception of the population of Northern and Central Europe and its offspring in America and Australia, 70 to 100% of adults worldwide are lactose malabsorbers. Malabsorbers, not lactose intolerant individuals.
Oh my
You're
God,
wrong.
bro. You don't even. Oh my God. Hey, bro, you got it. I'm not.
What is
malabsorbers? What is malabsorbers? Wait, like your reading comprehension is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, y'all, please don't do that, nigga. You can't fucking comprehend malabsorption.
Your reading comprehension is crazy. You just said 70 to 100% of words are lactose malabsorbers. What is lactose malabsorbers? Define that.
You don't absorb it properly, but that's not lactose intolerance, man.
What is lactose intolerance?
Yeah, I just man, damn, Sosa.
No. You just gave me the definition of lactose malabsorbers. Now give me the definition of lactose intolerance.
Lactose intolerance is the inability to digest lactose.
Absorb.
Okay, so what's lactose malabsorbers?
It's when you don't digest it properly.
That's what lactose intolerance is. When you don't digest it properly.
No, lactose intolerance is when you can't digest it. The inability.
Man, listen, I can drink milk, crazy. I can drink it. It just gives me trouble. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, yo, this is.
I mean, look, I'm done with
that. We just grabbed the shit.
He talked about the brother. The brother talked about
Which brother? Who you talking about?
X architect, or you talking about I am Sosa?
I am Sosa. He talked about the people who were actually diagnosed. Obviously, if they
no, he wasn't talking about that. He wasn't. No, he wasn't.
The article scientific, about that percentage of people.
Yeah, but it's talking about maldigestion. It ain't talking about lactose intolerance.
Listen, hold on.
I just want to get
I'm done.
One thing
You don't understand that there's a difference between the two. That's why they had to create this NCBI journal about the myth of increased lactose intolerance in African Americans.
What's the year on that, yo? What's the year?
So I just want to. Can I get a question?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
I wanted to know. So that percentage that you read, the 70 to 90%, right?
Yeah.
They was talking about that was talking about intolerance, right?
No.
Nope. That was talking about yeah. It was talking about intolerance.
It was talking about intolerance.
Show me where intolerance.
Those people had to be diagnosed with that for. So
no, it's not talking about that. It talked about malabsorption. Show me
malabsorption. We're talking about that.
I thought
he don't know the difference, man. Talking about I can't comprehend, nigga. Your comprehension is horrible. Lactase malabsorption. Anytime you have trouble, lactose malabsorption. Lactose, right. Man. It's man. Look, the whole thing is producing lactase into adulthood. If you have trouble drinking milk, like I can drink milk, bro. Like it's not that I can't drink milk. Like who the hell can't? Like I can drink milk. Niggas that can't drink milk, it just flushes me out. They're called lactose intolerant. That's why they use the word intolerant. You can't tolerate the shit. Can you be lactase malabsorbent and lactase not intolerant, bro? Not be one? What'd you say?
So you got at some point somebody got to kind of just back down and just that
nigga got to back down.
We can do it like this. Hold on. I know the subject. Everybody freeze for a minute. Hold on. Look at the abstract. Look. Hold on.
What abstract?
Yogurt and other. This is the one that I am Soho put in. It's a good one. It's a yogurt and other what's this? Conventional starter cultures. Why do they say that? Okay. And probiotic bacteria in fermented and unfermented milk products improve lactose digestion. It says, and eliminate symptoms of intolerance in lactose what's this? What's this word?
Did they say symptoms? Did they say symptoms?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't say lactose intolerance, right?
Hold on.
Malnutrition.
He's
not bugging, man.
No, it's maldigesters.
Yeah, maldigesters. Niggas that have malabsorption of lactose. That's not lactose intolerance.
It says these beneficial effects are due to this is microbial B and gastrositis in the fermented milk products. Delayed gastro-transit, positive effects on intestinal function and colonic myoflora, and reproduce sensitivity to symptoms. So we're just trying to say is they talking about lactose intolerance. So it's some real. What the point is, man. I think both of y'all make some great points on here.
They both made good points.
No,
hold on. Let me say. So it's not. I think X came and brought. Hold on, X. You actually came and brought some clarity to it, right?
Correction to it.
Got some real specifics on it.
You said correction to it.
Just let recap.
Yeah, you kind of put. What you did was you showed that these things will lead to lactose intolerance, which is different from the things where most human beings have these problems with milk, different varying degrees. But that does not mean you are lactose intolerant. Am I correct?
Exactly.
I get that, but what so you basically saying this article he got is not talking about lactose. 80% of African Americans have
maldigestion. Now, 80% of
African hold on, yo. He's talking about 80% of African Americans have these symptoms, right? You follow up. You basically said the same thing.
No, what I said was that
it wasn't lactose intolerant, though.
I said that malabsorption isn't lactose intolerance. Malabsorption isn't lactose intolerance. That's what I'm telling him.
He said read it. So he said read what that is.
Read what is.
I am Sosa. Read what lactose. What is it? Lactose what?
Look, that's what I'm saying. I got to. What he's doing is he playing game. Like I got the Google definition right here, right?
What Google definition you got of what?
I Google lactose intolerance. It says lactose intolerant. In parentheses, it has lactase non-persistence. And then it goes on to explain lactose intolerance as a deficit in the ability to digest lactose.
No, I am King Sosa.
That's why all you gotta do is why are you doing articles when you could just go look at a definition? That's what I don't understand. Like, why are you reading 80 articles when you can just look up the definition?
Now, can you share your screen so we can see your definition?
I got it. It's on my tablet. Just
type in lactose intolerant.
Type in lactose intolerant. I don't want to read no article.
No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna share my
Put it on the screen. Somebody got to share the screen, man.
Yeah, I'm sharing mine so you can see
do it.
Hold on, I got it. Relax. Come on, man. We can't be all hype it up. We trying to learn something. Yo, God damn.
My screen is shared with lactose intolerance right here. Look, you see it. I typed in lactose intolerance.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn because I'm one of the people y'all speaking about. So I'm trying to learn. No, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I diagnosed with lactose intolerance.
Yes, man. Listen, I don't gotta be. Hold on, wait a minute though. I don't gotta be diagnosed. If I drink milk, I'm gonna throw it up. If I eat cheese, my stomach gonna hurt.
Right.
I don't need to be diagnosed.
Yeah, you might, you might not be that. It could be something else wrong with you.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I don't gotta go to a European.
Oh shit! We done. He went.
I don't gotta do that.
He went full pseudo.
Wait. Hold on. Did you hear what he actually? He really said, listen. He was basically saying you can have something else wrong with your shit, yo. You might need to get it checked out.
Yeah,
wait a minute. I did get it checked out, but I'm telling him.
All right.
Yes, but I don't.
I say that at first, man.
I'm just saying though. I didn't have to.
You ain't playing fair.
Hold on, wait a minute. I was a kid when that shit happened. My parents took me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying though. I don't need no European. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, if I drink milk, I'm gonna throw it up. If I eat pizza, my stomach gonna hurt.
Remember though, that don't mean you lactose intolerant though. It don't gotta mean that.
So
it means you can't fuck with guards.
That's why I said y'all gotta put some shit on the screen.
Hold on.
I'm learning as well. I'm trying to learn.
I did. Let me talk real quick. I am King Sosa. Where was your definition of lactose intolerance at? Because I just look, you see on my screen, I got it. Lactose intolerance definition. Where do you want me to scroll to so we can see what you're reading?
Just read what lactose intolerance is, and then type in lactase non-persistent. See if there's a difference.
Okay, lactose intolerance, the inability to digest lactose. This is coming from medicine that I already read this. The inability to digest lactose, a component of milk and some other dairy products. The basis for lactose intolerance is the lack of an enzyme called lactase in the small intestine. The most common
lactase non-persistent.
Is that what I got?
I think we have
what I got.
I think we having a problem.
Trying to figure that out.
Is the word digest is what
the problem.
He bugging for real.
The problem is, I think we having a misunderstanding of the word digest. I think that's where the disconnect is happening, because digest don't mean just that the ability to digest it don't mean that just that the fact that you can shit it out properly without having problems. The whole thing is your digestive system starts when you put something in your mouth and the spit enzymes start to mix in with it. So what they saying is you don't properly digest it. So that means once you swallow that shit, once you swallow the milk or the dairy product, then you start to experience cramps and indigestions and bloating and diet. Some people experience vomiting and diarrhea. So what they saying is, if you get diarrhea, you done passed it, it done passed through you, or if you throw it up, it's done passed through you, or if you have bloating and indigestion, it's passed through you, but that was difficulty. You didn't properly digest it.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying. That's what they're talking about.
Who just said that? Corey? The brother is right and exact, man. That's
I just read
right
the
and exact,
and I have diarrhea.
right
Listen, I get
I
diarrhea.
Googled it. I just
all
found
the,
it off
hold on,
Google.
all the
Like,
symptoms
this
just
crazy,
explained.
bro.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I
if that
experienced
don't clear it up, I mean, we ain't gonna get clear if that don't clear
exactly
it up.
like
that don't clear it up. That don't clear it
Now
up.
I kind of so y'all not saying the connection between what they both saying though, like one leads to the other. So
he's saying the other and what I'm saying are the same thing, and they're not.
No, they're not. No. I'm saying, but when you really supposed to read what you reading first, right? And then I am so supposed to read this thing next. You're saying that what you're talking about could lead to lactose intolerance.
To the lactase non-persistence leads to the symptoms of lactose
Put it on the screen. Show the definition of lactase non-persistence on your screen, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to that right now. Could you please pay attention?
Y'all stupid, yo. But look, we got 124 people watching, man. Shout out to everybody in that joint.
Hey,
man.
Yo, I am King Sosa. You watching?
These guys, what's going on with you?
Okay, look.
Shout out to the goddess. Shout out to the goddess. Shout out to the goddesses right now. Need more women around here, man.
Yo, I am King Sosa. You see my screen? Look, I typed in lactase non-persistence definition. This is what it pulls up. Where you want me to go to?
Read the definition.
It doesn't give you a definition on the screen. It gives you. Are you looking at my screen?
Hold on. Does it not give you a definition, or does it bring you to the same screen?
It brings me to the wiki article on lactase.
Does it bring you to the same screen you were just on, or did you go to another screen?
I'm at a different screen.
When you type those definitions in, did it take you to a different screen, or did it bring you to the same screen as lactase intolerance?
It took me to a different screen.
Okay, well, where's the definition?
I just told you it doesn't give you a definition.
So there's no definition for lactose non-persistent in the world. They don't got none.
I didn't tell you that. I'm doing what you told me to do.
Lactose intolerance. That's the map
See
right there.
Look, come down. Look at the second paragraph. Go down. Put it up.
So you saying that lactose? What you got? Lactose persistence.
Hey,
lactose intolerance, lactose non-persistence.
Are you talking about this right here? Lactose intolerance.
I can't see it. See what it says up right below it? Yeah. See, it said lactase intolerance. Then what it got in parentheses?
It say lactose non-persistence.
Oh, this is where he's getting confused at right here.
Lactose
put it in persistencies. That means otherwise known as.
But look, just say what. Produce a number that says lower than that. The main point is like you understand the point I was trying to make. I don't want to argue about it forever. That's
even a secure story. Shit wrong.
Hold on, go ahead. Go ahead, yo. So he's saying,
I'm sharing the screen. What he told me to go to. He don't even know how to
right here he says lactose intolerance and parentheses lactose non-persistence. That means it's the same thing. Based off of that.
This ain't bullshit. I'm on it right now. This ain't bullshit. This site is bullshit. I am on it. If you look at your screen, this site is bullshit.
Yeah, that's where you getting it from, though. I'm just saying, bro.
This Vivo, what is this shit? Vivo cola.
Hey, I'm just doing it from definition. Hey, bro, like I said, hey,
come on, man.
Calm down, I'm
You gotta come with proper sources, man. This is crazy.
You start off with a proper source. Why you discount that source, though, X?
It's wrong. The source is bogus, bro.
It sounds like it's the same
what makes it bogus? What makes it bogus? What makes it bogus?
Hey, the thing about that Vivo, right, is just like Wikipedia. If you click on it, right, in that Vivo, there should be sources in there. Now, if there ain't no sources in there, that's a problem.
Hold on, I'm gonna go to it again. Fuck that.
Go to it again.
I want to prove his ass wrong live.
You ain't putting wrong because you got a good ass motherfucking source. The other source is a good source.
Hold on, watch this. Yo, where is the source? Let me share my screen.
I didn't click on that one. Like I said, I didn't click on it, bro.
Well, tell us the one you clicked on.
I just looked at the definition. I know what it is. I don't gotta click on it. You need to find out.
He know what it is, but don't have a source for knowing what it is.
Hey, he's straight. Come on, man. Let him go.
It's a done deal, bro. It's a done deal, man.
Don't have a source for it. Where the link at?
Tell you what. Why don't you find me a percentage lower than 75%?
75% of what?
He's saying that the 75% is those who African Americans, like, we have symptoms
Yeah, he don't realize that he's not good with comprehension. He thinks that says that we're lactose intolerant.
No, that's why we got symptoms.
Symptoms from lactase non-persistence, but he thinks that lactase non-persistence and lactose intolerance.
See, I already explained to him that you can have lactose, you can be lactose intolerant, and not experience any symptoms. So that percentage is not going to be included in that because they are talking specifically about people that experience symptoms. That's why it says this percentage are the people that experience symptoms. So what about the other people that don't experience symptoms?
There is a difference between. Hey, Corey, where you at? You even mind?
I'm right here.
Corey, do you agree or disagree that there is a difference between symptoms? Flu symptoms does not add up to the flu necessarily.
Absolutely.
It's two different things.
I agree with that. I absolutely.
So that's all X is saying. Okay. And I am supposed to saying, okay, well, he gave us some numbers, 75%. X argument is, wait a minute, the numbers you gave me was those with symptoms.
Those that are malabsorbers.
No. He don't understand.
So you was right about the African Americans having more.
Yeah, because I was looking at that map. Yep.
That's not what we were arguing that. We were arguing that.
So we leave it at that. I was just trying to show that we have a worse than the European. That's it. That's what I was getting at, really.
Yeah, we got more. Yeah, we got more of us have more symptoms. I agree to that.
Yeah,
clearly see that.
I agree to that. Would you say be more?
Yeah, they both made
some good points.
Yeah, Sosa brought it out, and only thing X did was add on to it. So it's
he added. You kind of like what he did. He made it very, very specific. But that's how X mind think though.
Right. This what I want to say, and I'm done with this right here. I just wanted to get it to be known that I Am Sosa's case was that black people were lactose intolerant.
He did.
Not
symptoms
that they possessed. Not that they were lactose malabsorbers.
Okay, listen.
Hold on, I'm not done. I'm gonna let you go because I'm done. He said that African Americans, 75%, were lactose intolerant. That's why I brought out the NCBI article that showed you that was actually a myth, that we're lactase non-persistent. There's a difference. Then he tried to connect the two, and that's why I tried to.
Let me ask a question.
You can't say you didn't connect them. You did.
All black people lactose intolerant?
No, check it out. This was the same issue that Wujawu was talking about.
Exactly.
With X. He was basically saying that generally when we don't digest milk properly, we say we lactose intolerant. So it becomes the meaning, the common usage.
No. That's why I keep telling y'all, yo. And that's why I'm trying to tell you that nigga was wrong. But you didn't want to listen to me.
Hold on, listen. This is what I want.
That was you said because wait. We don't want to. I don't agree those conversations mixed together well at all. No, I'm gonna strike that from the record. I will say that. I'm gonna give you all an example again. That symptoms of the flu. If you say 95% of black people have symptoms of the flu, right? That does not mean they have the flu. It means they could be. Could be that. Those numbers are high. It could be that. But that doesn't mean that that's what it is.
That chart I gave you, did it say symptoms or did that chart say lactose intolerance?
All right, let me look at it again.
It said lactose intolerant. But
right.
What it's saying, brother.
Yeah, but the article, brother. Is that a different chart? Whoa.
Hold on.
Is that a different chart?
Africans are disproportionately lactose intolerance. That's what the situation really is.
Exactly. And Asians are worse.
Lactose intolerance than your northern, like the Scandinavian people, ancestors and stuff like that.
So with that, here's the point. Can we discount the article that X brought saying the myth a lot? What was it, yo? The myth of black people. Can we start it out with
black people diagnose.
No, we can't throw it out the window.
No. Hey, X, put it up again. Hold on.
I agree.
I want to throw it away.
I'm bringing you articles.
I get on X. Y'all know I stay on X head, but I ain't gonna be on his head. Bring that again.
I agree. Black people are always talking about they got this, they got that.
It's right here.
Now stop. Please. Y'all hear him? What is this article, yo?
This is from a fucking scientific source, yo. This is not just an article. This is studies right here. The myth of increased lactose intolerance in African Americans. It's a fucking myth.
No, that's not what it says, bro. No. So let me ask you this. So you're saying no African Americans are lactose intolerant?
No. Stop creating strong arguments.
Listen, we're having another disconnect in the small word again. I think the disconnect is we saying Africans, and then then the other person saying African American. I'm talking about I'm talking about when I say disproportionately, I'm talking about Africans.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking. No. I Am King Sosa's message was African Americans. Do you remember this?
Yeah. We talking about us over here because I was on here. We talking about us over here. We're not talking about.
Oh man, like you trying to make me look like
this shows Africa, and it separates the African tribes because certain tribes are lower because they're cattle herders.
Yeah, it does.
The Bedouins, like it's all like the article I gave you. It ain't a damn article. It's a PDF. Like it's a whole report. It's not like a whole bunch of people just guessing. Like it's a whole report. It's an entire PDF.
Where's it saying lactose intolerant? It said lactose maldigestion or malabsorption.
Yeah, that's because it's going a different language and you don't understand the lingo.
I ain't going different language.
What you said?
No. He ain't going. Everybody chill. I see where y'all at though.
No, he's making a mistake, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Did you see that?
People get the information and they see what it is, so they can.
How do I get to the map?
You still gotta try to drink milk.
Click the map. It's a good link, man.
PubMed,
you didn't give me the map, bro.
PubMed got an article on lactase non-persistence and lactose intolerance.
What is that?
So the source that he cited has a specific article on both of those things together in the case study.
Shit. They separated it though, X. You might be right there. They separating it. Oh, okay.
Yo, Baltimore, what did you type in so I can type it in and read along with you, bro?
Okay, it is lactase non-persistence and lactose intolerance.
I need that map though. I do need the map. Let me see that map. Put that in that chat. I am so put that map in there, bro, so I can see the map.
Oh, and the images you could just I don't know.
You said that's on PubMed?
Yeah, on PubMed.
Hold on, that takes me to NCBI. Is the
user you put it right?
Yeah, click that. It's gonna take you to PubMed.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I already saw that. Yes, there's a difference between lactase.
Hey, Corey, give me the map, yo. Where the map at?
Man, I just Googled it, man.
My PC's too slow. Like, put it on where you can share the screen. Like, it's taking a long time to load the map.
The map, nigga. You ain't gave me the map. You ain't give me the map, when yo.
Yeah, it's taking a long time to load the map. The map is harder to read though. You're not gonna be able to just read the map like that. You're gonna look at it, but you're gonna be like it's gonna be confusing to you.
Oh shit!
Put it out there, bro.
He's out
there.
I can't put it up. Like, it's just.
Hey, man, don't read that. You ain't gonna be able to get it, man. Don't worry about it, yo.
Right, man.
Look.
All I do is read this type of shit.
Look, my screen's finished. Just click on lactase non-persistence, right? And then click on images. It's gonna take you to the map, huh? And then you can just click on the
map. Where? Which one, yo?
Just type that in your web browser, and then when you in your web browser, click on images. It's gonna show you pictures. Then you can just pull a picture out. You want New World? We got New World and Old World.
I got the map from typing in lactose intolerance.
Man, that don't mean nothing. Just because you type in and find a map, that don't mean the map is really. It's from the things closely related.
It's from the food intolerance study. I guess they got
lactose intolerance 101. That map right there.
Yeah.
A bunch of them got them in color.
Don't mean that. Hold on, man. You gotta get them journals. Where that one at? Where you at, B-More?
It's basically saying it's like overlapping. I'm on PubMed.
I ain't saying the overlapping. I can read it for you.
Read it.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna share my screen so the audience can see this shit too. This shit crazy.
It ain't crazy, yo. We good. I mean, so somebody think that we good. We ain't. Shit, we ain't doing.
I'm trying to
We
get
should get a conversation tonight, yo. I like this part, though. I'm good with
trying to
this.
get them to admit to the defeat. All right, right here. Lactase non-persistence and lactose intolerance. Purpose
It
of
could
review.
overlap. I could see it overlapping. How about you?
It's overlapping.
I mean, I told you that one leads to the other. To evaluate the clinical and nutritional significance of genetically determined lactase non-persistence and potential lactose and milk intolerance in 65 to 70% of world population. Even here, like the way they're using these words, you can clearly see that there's a difference between lactase non-persistence and lactose intolerance.
I got this map right here, yo.
Man.
They say currently about 75% of the world population is lactose intolerant, though. God damn. Hold on, I got it. Let me explain how I got this.
The reason it's so high, because the only people that's really good at it is
relax for a minute. Relax. Right here, it says 75% of the world's population is lactose intolerant. Bing, so we got that. Lactose intolerant. Now, when you read what you're talking about, you're saying 70 to 80% of black people have symptoms of that. Do you get that? That's two separate issues right there.
No, are lactose intolerant according to the study.
No. The study, the first study you put was talking about symptoms.
No, that was 80. That mine says malabsorb. He got to where it says malabsorbers. That he thinks now it's being something different, but it's not.
Y'all switched it to non-persistence.
Y'all with the non-persistence, though.
Y'all keep jumping around like y'all got caught up on that non-persistence.
Right. I thought it was lactose intolerance. Now y'all move.
That's why I told him.
I was gonna say that.
Because where they got offline was malabsorbance is the same thing as lactose intolerance.
But I showed him the I gave the graph. And in the graph, it says lactose intolerance. And you can read the paragraph.
Let me read this. It say lactose maldigestion, and there's a word and intolerance. So lactose maldigestion is different from intolerance. It's two separate things there, yo. So it's article is talking about that.
Yeah, lactose maldigestion.
No. So your article is talking about lactose intolerance and lactose maldigestion. I just want to say that, so it's talking about both things, right?
All right, listen. But when you read it, right, listen.
No, I'm a great. God damn, don't a nigga know?
All right.
What's wrong with y'all, boy? Y'all, boy. What's wrong with the generation around this motherfucker?
I ain't tripping.
How old is you? Let me ask you that question. How old are you?
I'm 47, bro.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
God damn it! Hell, you been hanging around X too long.
Polite and Inky say black people shouldn't drink milk at all.
Right? See what I'm saying? They fucked it up. See, that's what was our initial thing. That it's not just a black people thing. That's how we really started this whole conversation. Everybody don't know what we were saying. We were saying that it's not a black thing. Is that not right, brother Chief X? Wasn't that the point we was really trying to make?
Right.
And being lactose is not a black problem.
No,
just in general and really short, it affects everybody, but the higher percentage of blacks are affected worse as far as diarrhea than European people.
There you go.
It does affect all
Asians too. They got it pretty bad.
Okay, but the pseudo never tell you that.
Hold on, wait a minute. That's what the brother King Sosa was saying, though.
That's all he was saying.
That's all he was saying.
That's all okay.
Bro, that's all he was saying, bro.
Yeah, that's all he was saying. That's all he was saying when he booked, but the article he bought didn't say that.
Symptom though, because basically Chief X said a symptom.
That's what I got a subject matter. I got a subject matter.
Hey, I probably could receive Chief X a little bit better.
That's messed up.
I'm trying, yo. God damn, yo. But all right, we got it. So we didn't did that.
I'm trying to get a wrench. So when I show up, it'd be a wrench by my name, so I get a little respect. And I'm in the chat room when I'm talking. You feel me?
On your name, yo. Yo, say put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on my name.
Hey, what about
Hey, but X, I clearly hear what you're saying, though. Don't get it twisted. I hear exactly what you're saying.
I'm done with that shit. It's not gonna work, man.
I got you on that. I'm with you on that one. I look. But it did say lactose.
Yeah, but it described his article from what we were reading. It was the portion that we were reading that he sent us to, where he starts giving the percentages on the different ethnic groups. It was talking about malabsorption, not intolerance. That's what I was trying to get him to understand, is that intolerance and malabsorption are not the same thing. But it's cool. We can get past it.
What Chief Beck said. I ain't tripping, bro. I ain't tripping.
Yeah, Chief X. Because we were supposed to get into it.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on, X. Hold on. Wait a minute. So I'm gonna come down. I'm in the chapter lactose, maldigestion, and intolerance. I'm gonna go down to the second paragraph. Let's see what it's talking about. The second paragraph. There are several forms of lactose maldigestion.
Maldigestion. We read that already.
Huh?
Read that already. That's the question you wanted.
No, bring it home. Let me bring this shit home. Come on, X. I'm trying to help you out. Down wrong with you. I want to reiterate it again. There are several forms of lactose maldigestion. So we are agreeing that lactose maldigestion is different from lactose intolerance. Can we agree to that?
I agree to that. King
you got to agree to that, King Sos, because I'm reading.
I don't disagree with that. Go ahead, keep reading. I don't disagree with that.
Okay, all right. Because the title is lactose maldigestion, and there's a key word here called and intolerance.
Yeah, lactose maldigestion is worse than lactose intolerance.
Oh shit. Oh,
listen, man. When it comes to this, man, it's binary. Either you can fuck with it or you can't fuck with it. Like, it's binary, man. It's binary. Y'all keep saying all these levels and all. It's levels. Hold on. I get you. I get you, Chief X. I get you. Like, most of the people on the most of the people on the panel eat macaroni and cheese, though. Y'all eat macaroni and cheese. Chief X, do you eat macaroni and cheese?
You just messed us up.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yeah, I eat macaroni and cheese.
All right, then. So you don't know what I'm talking about.
Now, I ain't saying you wasn't that guy. Let me make the point. The point is that X, you hear what you just said? He said that lactose maldigestion is worse than lactose intolerance. Do you agree with that?
Man, all of that shit is worse. Listen, that's why I said it's binary, man. Either you could do it or you can't do it. It ain't no in between, man. You gonna experience
Chief X, make your statement. Go ahead, make a statement, Chief X.
I don't know. Somebody asked me a question, and then I tried to answer. I was just going. What did you? Somebody had a question?
Yeah, he in his way.
Okay.
So
I said, do you eat macaroni and cheese? I said, do you eat macaroni and cheese?
Macaroni and cheese.
Thank you. That was the question. Go ahead, elaborate.
Fine after eating.
Is also called lactose non-persistent. So lactose non-persistence is equivalent to lactose maldigestion.
Maldigestion.
Yeah, maldigestion. It's still not lactose intolerance, y'all. I just want y'all to know that. Hold on. And is the normal situation for mammals and humans.
Yeah, I know what I was going to say.
With the exception of populations in Northern and Central Europe and its offspring in America and Australia. 70 to 100% of adults worldwide are lactose malabsorbers. And that's a little different. Hold on. They use different words here. The prevalence of primary lactose maldigestion is 3 to 5% in Scandinavia, 17% in Finland, in Finland, 5 to 15% in Great Britain, 15% in Germany, 15 to 20 in Australia, and in Northern France, 65% in Southern France, 70% in Italy, and Balkans, 70 to 90%. The Balkans, that's some white people too. In Africa, exception of the Bedouin, 25%. Man, in Africa, 25%. That's lower than the Balkans there. Hold on. Greek, Berbers of 13%, Fulani, 22%, 80% in Central Asia, 100% in Asia, 30% in Northern India, 30% in Southern India, 15% in North, 15% North American whites, 80% in North American blacks, 53% in North American Hispanics, 65 to 75% in South America. So they're talking about lactose non-persistence. They're not talking about lactose intolerant, bro. That's why I comprehend very well.
Hey,
I ain't keep going.
Hold on. What?
Also, be mindful, although we can be lactose intolerant, we still do get the nutrition. The body still absorbs the nutrition. So not necessarily a detrimental thing. So sometimes people may look at it too negatively when it's not.
No, I'm just saying I kind of enjoyed the build, man. I think we got some real clarity here. Hey, but I am Sosa.
Yeah.
No matter what you say though, bro. Those numbers you was talking about, it was clear. Watch this. I'm gonna tell you what we was talking about. It was talking about lactose, maldigestion, and hold on. Lactose, and it was never word. Hold on. Lactose maldisorder
and persistence.
And persistence. Yes, that's right. There you go.
Yeah, see what? Listen,
Just slow down for a minute. It wasn't talking about the intolerance. It never got to that.
Listen, okay, see what they would call European lactase persistent.
No,
it's going to be the same thing. The title was the title was lactase, right? Because really all it's saying is that the ability to produce lactase in your adult year. That's where the term is from. Lactase persistent. That means they persist to keep producing lactase later in the year. Then lactase non-persistent means later in the years they stop. See what I'm saying?
Hey,
I mean, that's what they really do.
You know what the word intolerance is? You know the definition of intolerance? That's what my man got on here. He got intolerance. He be throwing up all that.
Well, I'll tell you what. The killer argument, 80% of African Americans are lactase non-persistent.
No,
I live with that.
Listen to me. My man on here, yo, he is literally intolerant. He can't drink this shit at all. Right? Chief might have certain symptoms. I might have certain symptoms. We're not intolerant, though. Your man be throwing up.
Remember,
you can't eat macaroni.
That's not the same
thing. Bro. That's facts. That's facts. Like,
yeah,
I was saying, really, that's facts.
It's deep as a motherfucker, because really, as you look at the panel, it kind of proves both of y'all point. It's two separate things going on here.
It do.
So what do you call? What do you call September?
Hold on. That's why I said it's binary, bro. It's either one or the other. It ain't no in between.
What would you
no in between.
No, we never said
September.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Listen, I know. Listen, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 people on the panel. I know at least 5 of y'all eat macaroni and cheese for a fact.
All of us can. I think all of us can.
I can't drink milk.
And enjoy it. And enjoy it though.
Yeah, everybody can.
Okay, I'm not that then. That's not me.
You're lactose intolerant. We are lactose maldigestive, or what's the word?
I got the non-persistent.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying. Break the math down on that.
You gotta mix up.
Everybody got their levels. Only milk will give me diarrhea. But I can eat macaroni and cheese and ice cream.
But see, that's a symptom. That's a symptom of lactose intolerance. It's not lactose intolerance.
Yeah, we got it. We got it now. X. No, you was right on that point though. And then I am Sosa.
Hold on. So X, you're saying if you can't drink it, if you throw it up, then you're not lactose. You're only lactose intolerant if you throw it up.
I'm not sure the particulars.
So
that's
just one of the symptoms. I mean, you could be bloating, you could be having.
You gotta get diagnosed as being lactose intolerant.
Hold on, can we both agree that those numbers wasn't talking about lactose intolerance? Can we at least agree to that? You heard me do it, right?
Let's talk about lactase non-persistent.
Thank you. Okay, there you go. We did all of that to get to that point. When on the panel, we got somebody that's really lactose intolerant. He cannot tolerate milk. He cannot tolerate cheese. Macaroni cheese, he can't tolerate the shit. That's a whole
brother. Hold on, brother.
Well, he
I'm
may
talking
have an
about the
allergy.
smell of it.
He may have an allergy.
I'm talking about the
Oh,
I'm
he
talking
said
about the
smell.
smell of it.
Wow.
All of it.
No,
All
90%
of it.
of African Americans is not that, bro. No, they're not that. They're not that right there.
You need to look up the definition of lactose.
No, we're not
I ain't
gonna
gonna
do
keep
that no
going
more.
there.
We did it.
I
Come
ain't gonna
on,
keep
man.
going there. I'm not gonna,
Hey.
because I know what lactose intolerance is, and
No, you
don't have to
right
be.
here, yo.
You don't have to be as bad. You don't have to be as bad as Centepa Raw. If you bloating, if you drink milk and you got diarrhea, that's lactose intolerance.
Nope.
If you drink milk and your gut getting bubbly,
Nope.
No,
He's wrong again.
come on, yo.
all right. Hey, conversation there.
You
No,
saying
Hey,
it
but
was
I
you.
wanted to change gears though,
It
Unc.
wasn't me.
I wanted to ask you
You're
something
saying it
about
wasn't
something
me.
else though, Unc.
Go ahead. What you want to ask?
I wanted to ask about how important do the black community think climate change is? I think that's one subject that's very, very central to the black community, but we don't really realize it. What's your thoughts on that? What's the panel's thoughts on that?
Well, I know we're in trouble. Remember, that's the second mass extinction. It's called the Great Dying. Look it up. The Great Dying. That's where the ocean temperatures changed a couple degrees warmer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And killer bacteria wiped out 99% of the life in the goddamn water. It's
Yeah.
called the Great Dying. So
Yeah.
yeah, that climate, and it was based off of climate change, bro. So that climate change is way more serious. First of all, you're gonna get a lot of flooding because the ice caps are melting. So that means
That's where I was going. Go ahead.
we're gonna start flooding, right? This is why a lot of ancient cities and towns we don't know about, because after the ice age, you know what I'm saying?
The sea level rose.
Right. So during ice ages, right, it sucks up the water into the ice caps. So more land is exposed. After the ice age, it should start flooding out. This is where you get your biblical narratives from, where people living in the Persian Gulf, Sumeria, and all that shit, right? They have a ethnic memory of floods. Okay, that all they know is that these great waters was coming and flooding them out. You find them same traditions in the Bible. Okay, they just talking about a flood, and this wasn't a global flood. Just certain areas, like we can go to Michigan, the Great Lakes. You know what I'm saying? What else we got up in the Great Lakes? Niagara Falls. All this happened when the ice, forms those fresh lakes and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that global warming shit is part of Earth's history. It is what it is, and I don't think we can do nothing about it, bro.
I think we speeding the process up. I think it's a natural process.
You're
like
correct.
I'm saying, but I think what we're doing is speeding the process. But what I really want.
You muted yourself.
My bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, black people, African Americans, live in the coastal cities, so that's why I really want to bring it up, because it's gonna affect us the most. And then they talking about how you got people buying, you got countries, foreign countries like China, buying up prime land because they already know where it's going to affect, and they buying the highlands up right now. And it's like in the hoods, the highlands be like the hood parts.
In China,
so what they're doing is gentrifying them hoods, and they investing in them highlands, because they know that them low beachfront homes that's all expensive right now, that beachfront property that's all expensive right now, that ain't gonna be worth a nickel in a minute. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, B-More.
Chief B-More wanted to say something.
Yeah, it's basically the argument. They had a couple Senate Congress meetings, and they was basically about whether human beings was speeding up the process of global warming. So it's definitely happening, but they trying to figure out whether the burning of fossil fuels and stuff into the atmosphere is pushing it forward. So that's
it ain't no doubt about that. I mean, that's just plain. And
but they are discussing it. They definitely discussing it.
Yeah. You can see in the last 100 years how the climate done changed so drastically. You know what I'm saying?
in the last 100 years. I mean, it's the temperature. I live in Indiana. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, northern Indiana. I'm like, if I drive north for 45 minutes, I'd be in Michigan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, the summers just been as I've been growing up, like summers be like 85 degrees. That's like hot. You know what I'm saying? But as I get older and older, like this week, it's been like over 94 degrees every day.
Oh, it's hot.
Every single day, it's 94 degrees. It's been like, it was like that for the last 3 summers. When it get to July, it's like in the 90s. It's unbearably hot because it's humid here too. We got a lot of humidity. We got Lake Michigan right down the street too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I can see the difference. You know, just in the experience that I'm experiencing. You know.
Yeah, that's true because in Maryland, it'd be 55 degrees in January a couple times. It messed us up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? It's cold as shit in Baltimore in the winter. That should change now, man.
Yeah. And see, people don't understand that climate is different than temperature. You know what I'm saying? They conflate the two a lot of the times.
Okay.
So it might be freeze. We had days in the wintertime that we hit record cold. It got like it went down like to -40 here in Indiana at one point in time this winter, this past winter. And then you got people saying, well, what about global warming when you get one of those days like that or a week like that? But see, they confuse temperature with climate. You see,
right?
Climate is overall, right? Am I correct?
Erratic weather patterns.
Yeah, climate is over, over periods of time. You know what I'm saying? And temperature is just, day to day. You know what I mean? But climate is the overall Earth. You know what I'm saying? Over a period of time.
So look, family, look, that's a good point. Look, we're gonna get up out of here, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. Yeah, I am so you got cooked on that point a little bit. In the pot.
I ain't gonna keep on with y'all. I appreciate you having me on the panel, family.
Hey,
I ain't gonna do it.
Hey, X.
Yeah, that motherfucker. He's sitting at the bottom of the pot.
You know what he asked you when he started asking that damn question? I said, don't answer that question. I knew it was gonna be.
He's trying to get slippery with it. Oh no, he's trying to get slithery.
Yo, he's sitting at the bottom of the pot right now. He already cooked.
Yeah, right. And 70% of the world's population is like Centepera.
What?
No. Lactose intolerant.
No.
Lactose. 70% of the world population is lactose intolerant.
Hey, Unc, you see?
Centepera is lactose intolerant. Hey, so 70% of the world like Centepera. So I'm not gonna keep arguing with y'all about this. I appreciate you having me on, man. G-Bax, you know what it is.
Oh, let me read that at, yo. What I say that?
Yeah, I got love for you. I am so yo. That's why I tell you, it's important. Words are important.
I'm not gonna do it.
Words are important.
What's that? We ain't
I'm not gonna do it, family. I'm not gonna do it.
Nah, man. Hey, look, we had a real positive show today, man. I appreciate everybody's energy, man. Sister Cobb, one of the smartest people I know. Shout out to you. Thanks for running that chat room like that. King Life was good. Figure that. I say, Mr. Evans, what's going on with you? What else we got in there? Mr. Black. What's that? What's going on with you? What else we got? Yeah, Omar. What's up with you, bro? Appreciate your support, man. Man, make sure y'all shop at Abjuwear. That's ABDJUWEAR, man. Get your No Religion, you know what I'm saying? Get your shoes, get your sneakers. Man, that guy's footwear, man. Hey, man, shout out to everybody, man. It was a good show today. I think we're going to do it like this more often, yo. We ain't got to yell at each other, yo. I think it was very productive, and I enjoyed the energy of everybody. That don't stop nobody's energy, yo. So, appreciate everybody on that, man. And y'all know what it is, man. Pseudo Killers on deck, man. This is what we're gonna do, man. We dedicated to destroying the pseudos in our community, man. Look, scientific literacy is a vaccination. Scientific literacy is a vaccine against the charlatans that come amongst you. once you get scientific literacy, man, you already know who's lying and you already know who's pseudo, man. Look, man, thanks for everybody coming. Appreciate you, Chief X, man. You know what it is. Be more, I know what it is, man. I am so appreciate you. Brother Nahisi, man, I know you working. Stephen Terrell, did I say that right, man? Did I say that right, man? I want to get that right, yo. I want to get the name. I don't want to call you lactose intolerant, yo.
I want to talk a few facts about that debate, but next time.
We do that next time, man. Hey, appreciate everybody, man. And y'all know we out, man.
All right, peace out.